Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Football Friday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, John McMullen, with a much-anticipated game on the horizon this weekend for Week 11, Eagles versus Lions. Sunday night football at Lincoln Financial Field. Will Jared Goff be able to handle the Thunderdome? We will see. Johnny Mac, how you doing on the Football Friday, brother?
Doing well, yeah. Game's almost here Sunday night, though. You got to wait a few more hours. But this is one of the biggest games, really, not only of this year, but really everybody was looking forward to this game last year, and it never materialized. So, to me, this is the rare game you really want to see, or you should want to see, completely, and maybe take a temperature on both teams and see where they are. But we go too bogged down on gossip all week. It's amazing.
Well, that's part. John, I said yesterday, we're like the Cowboys with success, man. We got so much drama all the time nowadays, but it is what it is. The team is very successful. John, this is a big game, though, man. We want to put the drama behind us for this show.
Well, we do have to talk about one thing, because I have to talk about Jeffrey Lurie performing.
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about that. So we'll have a little bit of drama today. Yeah. All right, what do you have to say about that, the Jeffrey Lurie thing? John Clark put out a picture.
Yeah, well, it accomplished what it was designed to do, but it's very performative. I mean, come on, is everybody falling for this? It's like, for those who don't know, Jeffrey is often at Eagles practice. Like, he's not an absentee owner. He goes and he makes it very known that he's at Eagles practice, because he waits until the very end, and then he strolls out in front of the media. He's there all the time, as you know, it's his right. He's the owner of the team, but a lot of owners obviously aren't at practice. It is not rare for him to be at practice, is what I'm trying to say. He's there all the time. Now, when the weather starts to turn, as it is now, he likes to go down to South Florida, as a lot of people do. So he's not at practice as much, and maybe because it has been very cold this week, maybe put off his travel schedule a week or two. But however, if you want to really accomplish something, the idea of meetings, like we talked about with Saquon and AJ and Jalen Hurts before, you're in the building. You're the owner of the team. You're gonna, hey, I want to talk to and they're coming in. You can have a really substantive discussion if you wanted to at any time. So to me, it comes across as very performative, but it accomplished what it wanted to, because now it's turned in, Jeffrey Lurie stepped his foot in. I can tell you too, he meets with players all the time, has dinners with players. Had one early in the season with the key offensive players. Early in September, when Adam Sandler, if everybody remembers, when Adam Sandler was at the NovaCare complex, because he kind of went viral because he took a couple pictures with Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson. They didn't go because they went out to dinner with Adam Sandler. On that night, Jeffrey had a dinner with some of the key offensive players. So none of this is rare. Very performant. He could step in at any time as the team's owner.
Do you think it was his intention to be performative, or do you think it was just the way the media kind of?
I think it was intentional. Yeah. I haven't seen any pictures of it. Have you?
No, other than a picture of AJ Brown that John Clark tweeted out, but there was no picture of Jeffrey Lurie in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if it was, it'd be more performant. No, I think it was said, someone put it out there. You can probably guess who, and was done purposefully.
Yeah, right.
That to me is performative.
Yes, it's performative. I agree with you 100%. All right, well, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but while we are on this, before we dive into this game, and we got plenty to talk about with the game, we got a great show planned for everybody. I want everybody to hit that like button if you enjoy the content. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I appreciate all of you guys for being here this morning. One other thing I got to hit you with. Vic Fangio dropped we're shopping at Nordstrom now, and we got it. I'm laughing at the way they've talked about this defense this week with the Temu thing they put out earlier, and now we got the Nordstrom line from Johnny Mack or from Vic Fangio. I think they're listening to Johnny Mack in there.
Well, the Temu stuff was, just a creative way to dub the maintenance off season. But I mean, they did that purposefully. I don't think that it's a mentality like you can never have a maintenance off season. They've done it in the past. They'll do it again when needed to adjust, because they're a very cash heavy spending team, so they need to adjust that on certain years. It's not going to change that. But what the Eagles do is, reassess, and they're very good at it. I always talk about, of all the flowers that Howie Roseman gets, he deserves most of them for his contingencies, not the actual moves. His contingencies when things don't go, because when you have 31 other teams, the draft being the most notable example, and you're picking in the late first round, you're at the mercy of others. So you have to have plan A, plan B, plan C, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're very good at the contingencies. And when it became evident, hey, we're a contender again, and not just a contender, a legitimate contender again, but we're probably not going to go where we need to go with this pass rush. We got to go out and get a pass rusher, and they got a very good one. Not only a very good one, but one that Vic likes and is comfortable with. And I've talked about it really since July. If you get that guy, everything else falls into place with that edge group. And you got that guy, and everything has fallen into place.
Yep. Took a little longer than we expected, but they did get the guy now, and let's see how we do this week. John, let's dive into this game, man. Before we get into some of the nitty-gritty and the matchups here, I want to start with the key injury reports, and I'm actually going to start on the Lions side, John, because the Eagles looks pretty good once again. It's another thing you've been talking about here on the show. We keep winning the injury report battle. 3 key names, John, did not practice for this Lions team for the second straight day. Terrion Arnold, the cornerback, is out with a concussion. He missed Wednesday and Thursday's practice. Obviously do not have Friday's update yet. Kirby Joseph, who we kind of expected, because he missed last week. He was out Thursday and Friday. And then a big one, Sam Laporta, their starting tight end, a big part of their passing game, out Wednesday and Thursday, 2 straight days with a back injury. John, those are big names for the Lions, man. If they're missing Arnold, Kirby Joseph, and Sam Laporta, obviously 2 secondary guys there, and then a big part of their passing game is Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I think Sam's the biggest one, because I think the thought was coming into the week that he was going to play, and now there's a lot of uncertainty around that. And, so today's a big day to keep an eye on. So that sort of throws a wrench, and that's a big deal. That is a big, big deal. I mean, they're used to playing without Terrence. They've been playing without Kirby Joseph for a while. He's not only been out last week, he's been out significant weeks already. Now he's a very good player, and that hurts. Terrion Arnold has not lived up to his draft pedigree, to say the least. So I don't know if that's as big as a deal as the other ones, but you'd like to have all 3, because he's still one of their best corners, but he really hasn't lived up to it. But the Laporta one, that's a concern for them. And if he doesn't play, that takes a big, big weapon away from Jared Goff. Especially
I don't think their depth tight ends are not even close to Laporta, but I don't even think they're pass catchers. Like Calcaterra can catch passes, if we need him to. He's not the player Goddard is, but I don't think they even have that in their backup tight end. I think Brock Wright is one of their backup tight ends, and there's a couple other names that they have.
Yeah, you can't replace a player like that, and he's sort of like a security blanket on those big downs. And obviously, they're the most. They're the best 4th down team in football. And Brock Wright is more of a blocker. They have another Ross Dwelly, but it's like a cliff. You're going off a cliff without Sam Laporta. So that is the one I'd be hyper focused on today. If he doesn't play, that's a big deal, and that'll make things easier for the Eagles.
No doubt. So that's the Lions injury report. They have a bunch of other guys listed as limited, but anybody who knows, the Lions kind of play with the injury report. It feels like every week they always got all these players on. I feel like it's one of their gamesmanship strategies, but there is a bunch more players there, all listed as limited or full. So the only guys who were no practice were Arnold, Joseph, Laporta, and then defensive lineman Pat O'Connor. Let's go to the Eagles injury report, John. Much better today than it was the day prior. Not that it was that bad the day prior, but the only limited player in practice yesterday or on the injury report yesterday was Cam Jurgens with that knee injury. What do you think, J-Mac? You think Cam Jurgens goes this week?
I think so, because of the game and the Eagles understand that they want to. This is a big game because this gives them the inside track for the number 1 seed. They already have the tiebreaker with the Rams and the Bucks, and to get this one and the Packers to get this one as well. This really puts them into driver's seats, especially with their schedule and the NFC East looking as poor as it does right now, as opposed to what teams like the Lions have to go through and teams like the Rams and the Seahawks have to go through in deeper, tougher divisions. So this would really put them in the driver's seat if they're able to get this win. So I think, certainly Lane's going to play. Landon's going to play. Tyler's going to play. Talked to him a little bit yesterday. He said his is nothing, basically. Just that time of year, he quoted it as. And Cam's the only one who's up in the air. And I think that truly is how he handles the week. He's wearing a big brace on his knee. If he comes out of the week of practice well and feeling good, I think he'll start. If not, I think you'll see Brett Toth. But I wanted to rewind to Laporta for a second because the Lions also worked out a bunch of tight ends for their practice squad and signed Anthony Berkser, who's a veteran. So that's a bad sign as well.
Right. That could be an indication that, it doesn't look good for Sam.
As I said, the Eagles are 7-2, very good record. They're 10-0 in injury reports. I mean, they're just healthier than everybody they play. So I don't know, they deserve some credit for that.
You got to, John. I think there's some element of luck, but at some point, it's so much luck put together, you start to wonder if it's not luck. They're doing something.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's every week. It's consistently every single week.
Multiple years now, it feels like.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. That's the injury report. Those are the updates. I'll keep you guys posted on the channel. I know this is our last Birds 365 of the week, but if anything big changes on the injury report, I'll jump on live and keep you guys posted. I think the really the bigger names to watch are obviously on that Detroit side, as we just talked about. All right, John, we got a bunch of super chats we're going to get to early here today. I want to thank everybody for being here. So hit that like button and drop your super chats. They'll all go to the top. We will get to them. John, Eagles, Lions, an anticipated game for maybe 18 plus months at this point. Two of the best teams in football, two of the best teams in the NFC, finally coming to a head, finally meeting in the arena. It's a Sunday night football game at Lincoln Financial Field. I expect that place to be rowdy, my friend. What are your early thoughts on the game as I lay it out like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Eagles have won, I think, 13 or 14 at Lincoln Financial Field. I mean, that's the whole thing. Nobody wants to come here in January. That's for damn sure. When they had home field advantage, they went to the Super Bowl both times. So, yeah, it's a big deal in big games to play here for the Eagles, and certainly an advantage. I mean, as I said, 13 or 14. They've won 10 straight against the NFC North, which is a good division.
Yeah,
think about
division.
that.
They might put 3 teams in the playoffs again.
It's possible. And they might be 12-0 in a couple of weeks against the NFC North if they finish off Detroit and Chicago.
Yep.
So, yeah. And both of those games are here, by the way, Detroit as well as Chicago. So, Yeah, it's a tough place to play. And people don't like playing here, with the exception of maybe Jared Verse. I always respect Jared Verse because
Yeah.
he encourages it.
He's a great player, man, Jared Verse.
Yes.
Yeah.
But most people sort of wither. I think the Jared Verses are few and far between. And I think, the history of Jared Goff is, if he doesn't play well, it's because he's getting pressure, and I mean, this is most quarterbacks. This is not any, you know, Sermon on the Mount or anything, but most quarterbacks struggle with pressure. But the difference between him and others, and maybe it's more the higher end, because if he's comfortable, he's so good, so accurate. But if he gets pressure, especially right up the middle, he can start to wither. And I think that's going to be the Eagles' game plan.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John, the weather is supposed to be, I think the high is 56 on Sunday. It'll probably be, my guess would be in the 40s because it's a night game. So it's not like you're in the peak in the middle of the day there. So shouldn't be too cold weather or anything like that for those wondering. Not that has that big of an impact, but it does have some impact, especially on a player like Goff or a dome team like the Lions are. Coming in, John, where do you think the biggest advantage or disadvantage for the Eagles are? There's a lot of great matchups. One thing really sticks out when I think about this Lions team. It's that two-headed monster at running back. I mean, just looking at their stats this year, Jahmyr Gibbs, 128 rushing yards, or 128 rush attempts for 693 yards. He's averaging 5.4 yards per carry with 8 touchdowns. And then you got the hammer. You got David Montgomery, 104 carries for 466 yards, good for 4.5 a carry and 5 touchdowns. That's 1159 yards at 5 a carry for 13 touchdowns and 232 attempts for the tandem of running backs in Detroit, John. That's a good unit.
Yeah, to say the least. Sonic and Thunder. Yeah, I think that's the best.
Sonic and Knuckles or something.
Sonic and Knuckles, yeah. I'm conflating Thunder and Lightning with Sonic and Knuckles. I apologize. I've never seen the show, by the way. It's a show, movie, whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Video game, whatever. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy the nickname. Yeah, I mean, I said yesterday, I've said it many times. I think the toughest matchup offensive playmaker in the NFL, bar none, is Jahmyr Gibbs, number one. That guy gets in open space and you are cooked. Tremendous player. And then just the perfect. I talked about it a lot with Saquon Barkley in training camp. You want a changeup. You want a curveball. You don't want two similar running backs, and they have the big bruising, move the pile, David Montgomery, who's one of the most physical runners you're going to see, as a tremendous compliment. So you get that 1-2 punch. Right off the bat. And then it's that, the old good problem to have. We talk about it a lot in Philadelphia. Same thing in Detroit with those two, because when Gibbs isn't on the field, you almost feel like, wow, we should get him on the field. But I think, long term, the changeup is worth it. And Montgomery is so good in his own right. Yeah, you can't get much better than that at the running back position. Those two guys.
And John, I don't want to boil it down to this, but if you think about it, here's the stat on it. The Lions have 3 losses this year. In all 3 of those games, it was the only 3 games of the year their 2 running backs were held to under 100 yards combined. They lost to the Packers in week 1. The Lions ran for 46 yards in that game. They lost to the Chiefs. They ran for 98 yards in that game. They lost to the Vikings. They ran for 65 yards in that game. Those are the only 3 games of the year they had under 100 rushing yards for the team. So, I mean, again, you're not going to boil it down to that, but you take away that running game or you limit that running game to the best you can, you're going to give yourself a much better opportunity to win the football game.
Well, and that's that's also a testament to playing from the lead and getting a good start, because you want to turn them into a pure drop back team. So I think this is one of those games where, Jody and I used to talk way too much about coin tosses because of Jody, not because of me.
Yeah, Jody loved the coin toss.
And they defer all the time. This is a game I wouldn't defer. Like, I
Wow,
want to
there you
start
go.
quick. I want to start quick, and I want to get the lead just from what you pointed out. I want to play from the lead in this game and force them to drop back and let Jalen Carter and Moro Jomo go after that interior offensive line. That's how the Eagles win this game. And I think the easiest way to get on track is to take the football first, go down and score. You shorten the game if it's a long drive. Like, think about that first drive they had against the Packers. Now, they deferred, but their first offensive drive before the fumble, it's like 8 minutes, 16 plays. That's what you want to do against this team. They had 556 yards or whatever last week, 44 points. Keep them off the field, number one. Play from the lead, number two. And make them one-dimensional, number three. And to your point, on the other end of that spectrum, when Gibbs and Montgomery score a touchdown in the same game, the Lions are 14-0, and they do it a lot.
Yeah, they do.
So you want to take those two running backs out of the game as much as possible.
And those are tough guys to take out of the game, man. It's a lot easier said than done here on the show. There's no doubt about that. But it is going to be a good matchup. John, then you kind of go a little further, just looking at that Lions offense. Then they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously somebody we talked about on the show this week. He's been a great receiver since he's come into the league. He's a volume receiver, John. He was second in the NFL in receptions last year. I think he's fourth in the NFL right now already. Has 64 catches on the year for 693 yards and 8 touchdowns. And then you obviously add that in with Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta. We don't know if Sam's going to play, as we prefaced the show, or we started the show with today. But those are good pass catchers, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And for all the people, there's so much talk about Cooper DeJean moving outside. This is not the week you want to move him outside.
Amon-Ra goes at the slot a lot.
Yeah. This is not the week you want him to move outside, even if you want him to move outside. So, yeah, he's a machine on third down, and he's going to become more important to and fourth down. Because you always have to talk about fourth down with the Detroit Lions, but he's going to be more important if Sam Laporta's not there. So this is not the week. Can we pause that for 1 week? You need Cooper DeJean on St. Brown as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a subject to pause.
And by the way, that's a tough matchup for Cooper DeJean. That's no guarantee.
It's a tough matchup for everybody, but you're better equipped to deal with it than most. And it becomes you're even more equipped if you take Laporta out of the equation, because it's like, well, if St. Brown's having some difficulty with Cooper, you just go to Laporta. Can't go to Laporta. So that's me. I mean, we got to pick the game here, but I'm telling you who I'm picking. If Laporta plays, I'm picking the Lions. If he doesn't, I'm picking the Eagles. And I think he's not playing, so I'm picking the Eagles. That's how important I think he is to that team.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you on Laporta. He is such a safety blanket, for Jared Goff, and he can really, he plays a big role in their passing game. John, do you think Amon-Ra St. Brown's the best slot receiver in football?
Yeah, he's up there. I mean,
and do you think Cooper DeJean's the best slot corner in football?
That I say more definitively.
There you go. There you go, baby.
There's a lot of good slot receivers, so you have to, but St. Brown's up there, certainly. But I think it's clear that Cooper's the best slot corner. Well, good receivers tend to have the advantage over great receivers tend to have the advantage over great corners because the NFL wants it that way. So
Yeah,
That's baked into it
great
as well.
offense, beats great defense, no doubt about it. There are good high-powered offense, though, and then you add in Jameson Williams. I know we've mentioned him being a little overrated, but take that out of it for a second. He can gash you, and he can get the
Oh,
game.
he can get behind you.
Yeah, he
So
can take the top off, no doubt.
he's a player. They're a huge play action team. I mean, they're a huge play action team, and he's the guy they're going to take deep shots with. And he can get behind anybody. But he's a little bit more inconsistent when it comes to being a well-rounded receiver. I thought coming out, I thought he was going to be really good. I don't think he's lived up to that standard. But as a deep threat, he's a big-time deep threat. I mean, he's averaging 17 yards per catch, almost 18 in this era of football, which is dump it off, get the ball out quick, stop the pass rush, bubble screen. So when somebody gets to that level in this era of football, they can get behind the defense.
Yeah, 17.6 yards per catch for Jameson Williams. He's got 27 catches, 474 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And then Laporta has a little bit more than that. He's got 40 receptions, 489, 12.2 a catch, and 3 touchdowns. So their pass catchers are combining for 15 touchdowns there and well over 1,500 yards. So a great unit there on
number one after the catch too, and that yards after the catch. So that has to do with the accuracy of Jared Goff,
right?
Because he puts the ball where you can run with it afterward, and that is kind of a lost trait with many quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, John, yesterday you made a comment, and I don't want to push back on you, but I think it deserves some context, especially for a game like this. You made a comment that scheming receivers open is overrated. Well, just on the surface, it feels like the Lions do that better with Amon-Ra St. Brown than any team in the league. Now, there's context to that. What do you think of that element of it? Because I think that's one of the big reasons he gets so many yards after the catches. They scheme him open. Goff gets him the football on time and on target, and boom, away he goes.
Well, I think when you talk about what fans would consider scheme, I think, the 49ers and the Lions are probably the two best. And more of the lines with Ben Johnson, who's now in Chicago. But so those are the two best at doing it. But I mean, again, they're really ranking good players. If they were doing this with, well, you're going to see it with a lesser tight end probably. So you're going to have Brock Wright instead of Sam Laporta. Well, if you had Khalif Raymond instead of Jameson Williams, I mean, I don't know why this is so controversial to people. Like, the best wide receivers, put on Jamar Chase film. Look at how much he's double teamed compared to other receivers. Jefferson film. Look at how much he's been double teamed over the years compared to other receivers. They still managed to get it done. A little bit less this year with poor JJ for obvious reasons because of the other JJ. They still managed to get it done. I got to cover Chris Carter in the prime of his career, en route to being a Hall of Famer. He had a different quarterback every year. He just produced. Didn't matter who it was. Now, sometimes when he had Warren Moon, it was even better.
Right.
And it would go, but dude just produced. Players, man. Players.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying with it. I do think there is probably some degree of where it helps, but I agree. Players come first with that. John, good stuff. Looking at the offensive line of the Lions here. All right, games are won in the trenches. Everybody, it hasn't changed as much as football changes. Many of it still stays the same. Graham Glasgow became their center, John, after Frank Ragnow retired. That's been obviously a major downgrade when you lose a center like Frank Ragnow. Their normal starting left guard, Christian Mahogany, he's out. He was placed on IR last week with a knee injury. And
Coyote Awasika.
Coyote Awasika. Anybody remember that name? He was with the Eagles for a little bit on the practice squad, I believe. Correct? Or was he on the starting roster?
No, practice squad. Good dude. They for years they had Halapuli Vati Vite as well, but Yeah, Coyote. I like saying both of those names. Halapuli Bhattacharya and
Yeah.
Coyote Awasika. Yeah, that hurts. I was surprised, to be honest. They rolled out that they had the best offensive line in football. I think they did have the best offensive line in football, or were close to it with
Yeah,
the
and the
Eagles.
other guard they have is Tate Ratledge, and he's a
Yeah, he's a
second-round
rookie.
rookie. Yeah,
Now he's playing pretty well for a
he is,
rookie.
yeah.
He's playing pretty well, but they're not. When Frank was there, when Frank Ragnow, they were. He was right there with Kelsey as the best center in football. Certainly you got to put Creed Humphrey in there, but in the conversation. Yeah, they're not quite as good as they typically are, except for Panay Sewell, who's Godzilla on.
Yeah.
He's like the Myles Garrett of offensive linemen.
It's a great comp.
Um, you know, you see D-backs and linebackers run away from him on the film all the time because they don't want any part of it.
Yeah, he just destroys people downfield.
And I think a lot of I heard somebody say, yeah, well, he's better at run by. Well, he is because he's almost scary at run by.
Offensive linemen are if they're physical, and
Yeah.
strong.
But acting like he's not that good of a pass blocker, and he is. He's just one of the best players in the NFL, period, regardless of position. Easily top 10
Yeah.
in the NFL. So they still have him. Decker's a veteran. But I would say, above average left tackle. He's not bad, but he's not great. And then you lose the other All-Pro with Frank Ragnow. They're not nearly as good as they typically are on the offensive line. So I was a little surprised that Vic said that.
Yeah,
He called him the best offensive line in football.
And John, it's pretty clear though what you want to do here on this offensive line. It's going to be a massive interior game for this team. You want to attack those three in the middle. That's what Brian Flores did a couple weeks ago. Had great success with it. So that's
Jameer Gibbs to block on third down.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to blitz, but I think that it's a big Jalen Carter, Moro Ajomo, Jordan Davis game. They got to create pressure in the middle, and that could completely change how the Lions play.
Yeah, I don't want to tell Vic how to do his job, but I would blitz just to force him in. In other words, like it doesn't matter how dominant Jalen Carter is or Moro Ajomo is. If you're only sending a 4-man rush, they're not going to feel compelled to leave them in on to block on third or fourth down. They're going to get them out, and then you have them in space. And I don't care how good your linebackers are, and the Eagles have great linebackers. They ain't sticking with that guy in coverage. Not possible.
Yeah, going to be a good one, John. I'm excited for this game coming in here. John, moving over to the Eagles' offensive side of the ball, this is still a good Lions defense, man. If they're missing Kirby Joseph and Terrion Arnold, I know you mentioned Arnold hasn't quite lived up to the draft type, but I am going to assume he's better than the guy behind him. So if those two guys are missing, that would be two secondary guys. What do you think about the Eagles' offense matching up against that Lions D?
Yeah, I mean, the two guys you have to worry about are Hutchinson and Jack Campbell, who was turned into a terrific linebacker. And I know Brad Holmes gets a lot of shit for that draft. He got a lot of shit for that draft, and he likes to spike the football because people were saying, how do you take a running back as high as Gibbs? How do you take a linebacker as high as Campbell? And they both turned into phenomenal football players. So those are your two really, really star players. And right behind him, I would say, but he's been banged up this year, is Brian Branch, who is a phenomenal football player, one of my favorite players in the league. Tremendous. They got a lot of talent on defense. It's just never together. Never together. Like Kirby Joseph is one of the best safeties in football. If you have Branch and Joseph at the same time, that's arguably the best safety group in football. DJ Reed's a good corner, but he's been injured. Again, Arnold hasn't lived up to the hype, but he's talented. We all know he's talented. By the way, Avonte Maddox is there. Not that, that moves the needle, but he's played a little bit because of the injuries, not a ton. Alex Anzalone's an underrated linebacker.
Yep.
Always making plays. They always find people, and perform.
So damn injured though. Is that the way they play? Is it the way they practice?
Well, a lot of people criticize Dan because he's kind of old school and he's physical.
Yeah, right.
And maybe that's part of it. And they wear down. Lynn McMullen just got back. He's not playing well, but he was out for a long time. But he's a good player if they get him up to speed. So he's back. Muhammad is their other edge rusher out opposite of Hutchinson, and he's better than people think. I think their defense is better than Eagles fans probably think it is. And the Eagles offense is struggling. Now, when the Eagles have one of their good games offensively, they can play with anybody. So it's almost you have to wait and see what shows up offensively, unfortunately. If it's going to be a shit week, they're in trouble. But in some ways, I think the personality of the game will fix that because they'll have to be more of an urgency to do different things and to take some chances because the Lions are probably going to score some points. Even if you play well, like playing well against the Lions is, probably holding them to 24 points.
Yeah.
And you'd say that's a good day, especially when they're clicking. And if you hold them to 24 points, say, well, then you got to score 25. And the personality of the game demands that. So I think part of it will be just fixed by that.
Yep, no doubt about it. John, this is the team, as we've talked about. We've had a lot of discussion about the offense this year, as it seems we always do. But obviously, we started the show today talking about the Jeffrey Lurie meeting, all right, with A.J. Brown apparently on the sideline. This is the team, though, John, that could force the Eagles to play a different brand of football. You need to put points on the board to keep up with this team. They could force them to open it up and play less risk averse. That's like the word of this era of Eagles football is becoming risk averse. But this is the team that could force you to open up. I am not expecting another 10-7 football game here, John.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'll tell you what, if they hold this team to 7 points, this is the best defense in football, period.
Packers held them to 13, but that was week 1.
Yeah, different, rival too.
How much do you put on Dan Campbell play calling?
Similar. I think it was unfair, but it worked for one.
Yeah, but I mean more from like the Eagles' perspective. Like, does that throw a wrench in how you game plan because you don't have as many tendencies to go off of and less of a sample size of him calling plays for them?
Well, he called plays before, so I think you go back to that. Called plays when they were unsuccessful, but they were unsuccessful because they didn't have all the talent that they assembled.
Yeah, right.
When he was first there. But you try to get a feel for him as a play caller. So you go back to that and see what he does differently than John Morton. And I saw Morton was talking about it. He's get demoted, so he's got to put a happy face on it. But, he said he admitted he was having some trouble sequencing is what they call it, which is some of the same criticisms here with Kevin Patullo, and that's just comes with experience. And Dan's done it. To me, the first question is it going to screw you from a game management perspective? And they blew out Washington, so it didn't really. Nothing's going to matter in that type of environment. So it might hurt them from a game management perspective. From what I heard, he used, Jamison Williams, better to his strengths better, and it used everybody to their strengths better. He was very upset coming off the Minnesota game on how Flores took Jahmyr Gibbs out of the game. That's basically what it was about. Like Dan Campbell's mentality is like, you can't let somebody take that guy out of the game.
Yeah, right. Because then we're going to be cooked. We're not going to be able to do what we want to do.
Yeah. So that's basically what it was about. And they were able. He had a big game.
Which I mean, he had 142 rushing yards, and he also had 30 receiving yards and a touchdown through the air, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Jahmyr Gibbs went off.
So, I mean, but that's what it was about. And I don't think either of them are as good as Ben Johnson as play callers, but, whatever. Sometimes, like I said, be careful what you wish for with the Ben Johnsons of the world, because they always go back to the NFC Championship game. And it's like at the biggest moment of the shit. A lot of people say, well, they played poorly. They had a ton of injuries, but they had a chance to win that game. Now, it wasn't going well for them, and they were driving with their season on the line, and they took the football out of Jared Goff's hand, and they put it in Jamison Williams' hand to throw the football, and he threw an interception. Now, if that would have worked, people would have been slurping, Ben Johnson. Oh, what a creative play. And then,
crazy.
And then they forget about it, and it's like he's in Chicago. Who cares? But be careful what you wish for. If your season's on the line, you probably want the ball in Jared Goff's hand, not Jamison Williams' hand.
Yeah,
so you got to be very careful with that shit.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. John, this is a team that they'll put up a lot of points if you don't get some pressure on them, man. So I think that interior, that D line is going to be massive. Obviously, you pointed out Penei Sewell and those guys. So it's going to be a massive. John, how about the other side? Their defensive line. Aiden Hutchinson leads the NFL in pressures right now with 57. He's got 8 sacks. He's 3rd on PFF in terms of defensive grade, behind only Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons. Just got the big contract extension. Aiden Hutchinson is a beast. Now, we do have a great, we have the antidote. We got a great remedy for that in Lane Johnson and our 2 tackles. But, that's a tough guy to go up against, too, on their defense.
Yeah, he's great. He's a tremendous player. Relentless, that's the one thing all pass rushers, great pass rushers. He's a great pass rusher. Have in common is they're relentless. They never stop. They have the high motor. Seems completely healthy off a significant injury, playing a lot, dominating. I don't think they have the complement though right now to really take advantage of it. Vic, to the point of Jalen Phillips, is if you saw Vic's press conference, he was asked a bunch of questions about Jalen, and one he sort of volunteered, and I'm glad he did, because everybody, well, Jalen's son got a sack. This is Jalen Phillips play.
He collapsed the pocket on that play.
Good. It's a Jalen Phillips play, and ran him into Jalix, and Jalix made the play, and good for him. Gives him confidence and all that, but they Aiden's going to run Jalen Hurts, and is somebody going to be able to clean it up?
Right.
And that's where, before the injury, Alim McNeil was turning into a really good player. Now he's been back for a couple games, but he hasn't played well. Now Muhammad is having a better year than I think people recognize, so he might be the other guy. But they've been looking for that compliment for a while. They tried Marcus Davenport again, and that dude's always injured. It's ridiculous. DJ Reader had a good year as an interior guy in Cincinnati a couple years ago. He's okay. They need somebody to step up, and they really need Alim McNeil to step up. And we'll see if he can as it goes down the stretch and he gets more comfortable. So he's been back maybe for 3 games after being out for a long time. So we'll see if they can get that second guy who sort of helps him and can finish plays, because he's gonna create some issues, just like Micah did. But nobody could help Micah. Finish Jalen Hurts. Micah's always chasing. Where's everybody else?
Yep, so true. Micah had him running too, but nobody was there to clean it up, as you mentioned. John, what version of the Eagles offense are you, one, expecting, and two, do you think is required to keep up with this Detroit Lions team?
Well, like I said,
I
think the urgency of the situation the personality of the game will take care of a lot of the issues.
Right.
If you're behind, and by the way, I would advocate, if you win the coin toss, taking the football. They will not.
Here's my only problem with that. Why are you so sure that the Eagles go down and score? We get 3 and outs a lot more often.
I know. I'm playing the game. I'm trying to set up a script where you win the game.
Right.
There's no guarantee.
Yeah, obviously.
But they generally have played well on their first drives and then sort of fallen apart.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, they had a 16-play drive to start in Green Bay. And that's why people play, by the way, that's why they play the way they play, is because the whole theory is, if you got to go 15, 16 plays, eventually you're going to make a mistake. And that's what happened. They fumbled. And they got off the field, but it was a 16-play drive.
Great drive.
8+ minutes. Now, if you finish that drive, not only are you up 7-0, not only do you shift Detroit's mentality immediately because you're playing from the lead, you shorten the game against the best offense in football.
Yeah. And people are pointing out in the chat to me, we've had very successful I don't know what the actual stat is. Dank says we've scored 3 of 4 of the.
Yeah, they've been very good in first drives.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's never this simple, but man, does it feel this simple to me. If you pressure Goff and you get him off his spot in this game, you're going to have a great chance to win. I mean, I almost feel like we need a Jalen Carter hit on Goff early like he had on Carson Wentz. I almost don't even care if he takes a 15-yard penalty if he has to. Just don't spit on him and get thrown out. Yeah. But strike some fear into that guy's heart, man. Strike some fear into Jared Goff.
Well, it's interesting because at one point, this is amazing how quickly this game moves. At one point, it was pretty clear that, and everybody thought, the Eagles made the right decision in that draft by taking. Now, the Eagles, since we know, the Eagles would have taken Jared Goff, by the way. The Rams had the number 1 pick and took Goff, and the Eagles had number 2 and took Wentz. Now, the Eagles would have taken Goff if they had the number 1 pick, but it worked out for them. At least it looked like it was working out for them. And it was like,
I'd say it worked out.
Well, I agree. It worked out because they got it. I'm saying long term, but long term, Jared Goff's a much better quarterback than Carson Wentz. That's what I'm getting at.
He's not with his original team either.
No, but that's what I'm getting at. He's been able to persevere and improve and get better and do all the right things. And Carson went in the negative direction. That's what I'm getting at. That's how quickly the NFL moves. But to your point about the big hit, yes, I agree with you. That's been the history of Jared Goff. That's the history of every quarterback. If you pressure them, they do not play as well. From Patrick Mahomes on down, they do not play as well if they get pressured. You saw it in the Super Bowl last season. You saw it in the Super Bowl multiple times with Patrick Mahomes. They do not play as well if they're pressured. So that's baked into everybody. But with Goff, the high is so high, it looks, I think, more. But yeah, I mean, if you pressure quarterbacks, especially up the middle, but what I'm trying to say is that hit on Carson Wentz, he's not going to fall apart to that level as Carson Wentz did in that game, taking that hit early.
I agree.
It's got to be, it's got to be consistent. It's got to be consistent pressure up the middle to make him really, really uncomfortable. And yeah, then you're going to win the game.
Yeah, I mean the other part, we're gonna get to all of our super chats here in a second. I want to thank everybody for being here. We got Gary Cobb in hour number 2. We'll see what G Cobb has to say about this game, all the Eagles, everything that's been talked about in Eagle Land. But John, we mentioned obviously the injuries at the start of the segment here, the start of the show with Terrion Arnold and Kirby Joseph. But is DJ Reed going to play? Because they opened up his practice window this week. Now I think he was limited at practice, so maybe has a better chance to play. But if they're missing him, Arnold and Joseph, I mean, who are their corners going to be? Amik Robertson and Rock Ya-Sin?
Well, Amik Robertson, that guy's played well at times. But yeah, I mean, he's played a ton of snaps. He's played over 400 snaps. They have that
pretty small dude, but
yeah, he's better suited in the slot, but he's played outside. He played a lot late last season when they were playing well, amazingly, before falling apart. Eventually it catches up to you. But the one good thing about all their injuries is they have these guys who, I mean, that Mullet hasn't played a ton, but one of the games I remember watching, and I'm like, who's this guy? He's making plays.
He would be their slot, right?
I don't know how they're going to work it, but obviously you want Reed out there, you want Arnold out there, and they're good players. So, I mean, but the silver lining of being forced to play some of these guys is some of them show up and play and make plays and do some things. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to do it. And they certainly would rather have the commodities. But I got to tell you, I mean, like Amik Robertson, to use him as an example, versus Terrion Arnold, because you're like, well, you need Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold stunk on ice since he's gotten in the NFL. He's been terrible.
Yeah,
he's been terrible. There was that debate, and the Eagles were having that debate, believe me, Mitchell or Arnold. Most people put Arnold because of Alabama. Exactly. I mean, let's be honest.
Yep.
Most people put him ahead of Quinion, who ironically could have went to Alabama but stuck with Toledo. And the Eagles made the right decision, man. That guy's been bad. Not like disappointing. He's been bad. And I don't think they're any worse playing Amik Robertson than Terrion Arnold. Wow. In fact, I think they're better.
No doubt. All right, good stuff there, John. We got a bunch of super chats we're going to get to. I want to thank everybody. Hit that like button on the show. Eagles Lions. Guys, we've been waiting for this game. It feels like forever. It feels like freaking forever. We haven't played the team since 2022 when we beat them. And then I think in 21, John, we beat the ever-living hell out of them. That was the first game, I believe, if I remember correctly. That was the very first game that Shane Steichen had called plays for the Eagles. They were 2-5, and the Lions were 0-7. I think they beat them like 44-6.
No, the first game. That was the first game of the shift to the run, and they scaled back because Jalen was struggling. Or it might have been Vegas. I forget who they played first. It was Vegas or in the Lions. Those were the games where they got some, I think, because they lost in Vegas. But
so I think the Lions maybe came the week after. I know we beat the crap out of them in 21.
Yeah, they beat the crap. They really started running the ball well against Las Vegas, but they got beat pretty handily. And they said, yeah, we got to do this. And they really amped it up. Now, Detroit stunk at the time as well. But they really amped it up. And that was when people were saying, think Sirianni's got to be one and done, this and that. But he called the plays in that game. The first game with Shane was the Chargers, ironically, because he had a big history with the Chargers. And they actually lost that game. But that was the first game he called plays.
Yeah, well, they beat the crap out of him in 21, 44-6, and they also beat him in 22. I think that game was closer. Yeah, 38-35.
Yeah, that was week one. I remember Jody and I said, yeah, this team, man, you don't want to play in week one because nobody knew the Lions were going to be good still at that time. And that is a tough place to play, man. That place is loud.
Yeah, that place that's a dope stadium, Ford Field. I like that place. I've never been there, but from the visuals that I see, I like it. All right, John, let's get to some super chats here. A big matchup here, much anticipated Eagles Lions will be a great litmus test for the Eagles. Probably the best game of the regular season, in my opinion, everybody. So lock in. JH sent this, John. How about this? JH sent this $10 super chat at 7:38. My guy was in here ready for Birds 365 to start. JH, what's up, brother? Appreciate it. TGIF Football Friday. Now we can talk game analysis instead of days of our birds. LOL. Love the show.
We had to get some Jeffrey Lurie.
Yeah, we did. What's the best way to stop the Lions? 2 running backs. Also, do you think Dan Campbell is an overrated play caller after one game?
I mean, it's one game. I wouldn't go overboard either way. But he has called plays before. But again, the Lions were not good when he was first head coach. His first year as head coach, they were not good. They didn't have a lot of talent. And that's the one thing when you're – and they were a bad team for a long time, a very long time. And all of a sudden, they're picking at the top of the draft, and you wake up one day, and they got a bunch of good players, and they got better. But, yeah, early on, he was calling the plays, and then he gave it up, and they turned into what they turned into. I mean, yeah, I don't think he could make any brash declarations on what he is as a play caller.
How about the 2 running backs? What's the best way to stop the Lions? 2 running backs.
Get the lead. Play from the lead.
That's true. Yeah. If you don't do that, it's tough. It's a tough one. They're going to be tough to take out of the game.
Schematically, a 3rd, 4th down blitz, but I don't think they're going to blitz. Make Gibbs pass protect.
Yeah. You think they'll blitz a little bit more?
Maybe situationally, but with Vic, it'll always be red zone.
Like, yeah, and they're not going full Brian Flores.
No. Situationally, they might blitz more, especially in the red zone.
Flores had a winning game plan, though, versus them a couple weeks ago. That was an impressive win for the Vikings.
Here's Brandon Lewis. That quarterback.
Yeah. Here's Brandon Lewis. What's up, Brandon? John, how does John let that little twerp Elliott manhandle him to get a question in? I thought John was tougher than that. SMH. I did hear Vic Fangio say something to you about that.
Well, because Vic was surprised I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, come on, guy. Come on. But first of all, this is the Premier League of press conferences, the Philadelphia Eagles press conference. So, look, I don't take pride in this because essentially a couple of years ago, Jimmy Kempski did, because Jimmy, for those who like Jimmy, he's, he does these fun little things. So one year he ranked all the beat reporters for face-off questions because it's a big deal in Philadelphia.
Yeah, right. Getting the question, yeah.
If you're a shrinking body, you ain't getting the question in. And I won it. So, but I didn't take pride at the time because that basically all you're saying is I'm the biggest asshole. Basically,
got to be an asshole. It's a good thing, John.
But so anyway, Elliott came up and apologized. He said when he heard my voice, he knew he had to go over the top. He went over the top. He went over the top to get his question, which is fine.
Which is why he sparked a response from Vic.
Yeah. So whatever. But
that's funny. Somebody sent me it in real time. I'm like, man, people are locked in, man. But that's funny. I could see you, John, being the alpha dog in the press.
And by the way, that is not even true because they will default to McLean because the Philadelphia Inquirer. So I even told Jimmy at the time I shouldn't have won. And then Rube should win because Rube bullies people. But I don't even think I should have won, but I won. So I threw it out there.
Good stuff. Brandon, thanks for the $10 super chat. Dank Bird Gang, what's up, Dank? Forget Eagles Lions. Real game is OU versus Bama. You're going down, Z. Boomer Sooner. Dank, it's a good one, brother. Big game. Alabama needs to win, man. I think either way they're going to get into the playoff at this point.
They're in.
Yeah. But you don't want to lose this game versus Oklahoma. Dank, it's going to be a great one, brother. Looking forward to it. Winner gets bragging rights on the show next week. All right, Dank? Dirty D, what's up, Dirty D? I'm surprised Dan Campbell took over play calling last week from his offensive coordinator. Should Nick Sirianni do the same?
No, Well, Nick doesn't want to, so I mean, he did it in his first year, and he made the decision that the job is too big for it. And I think it was a good decision. Um, he doesn't want that approach because he thinks it harms the other aspects of the job. So no, it's a different environment. And by the way, I think Dan Campbell was unfair to John Morton. So, but whatever. He had a bad game. But that just proves it's not only Philadelphia. They had one bad game. Granted, it was a terrible game, with the Gibbs stuff. It was a poor performance.
And they lost to a division opponent they shouldn't have lost.
Yeah. Exactly. At home. At home.
Yeah, and they're trying
with the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. So it was a bad loss.
Dude, if we could beat the Lions this week, and I don't know who the Bears play. I think they play. I forget who this week.
Yeah, they could be at first place.
They're going to be first place in the NFC North.
And the Eagles are. I'll tell you right now, the Eagles are going to kill that team.
You think so?
That team.
I don't know, dude. The Eagles are. This would be the Eagles. They beat the Lions, and then they lose to the fucking Bears. Well, that would be the most Eagle thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to wait and see the spot. I talk about spots all the time, but boy, Caleb Williams is not going to do well against Big Fangio.
I just don't think he's the type of quarterback that Ben Johnson wants. He wants the guy that's on time, on target, gets the ball.
Well, I agree with that.
Caleb is such a playmaker after.
Oh, well, and that's
a great arm. I'm not saying he doesn't have great traits.
Oh, he's got a phenomenal arm. Watch when he in the Caleb Williams game. Watch when he blushes right.
And he launches him down.
Oh my Lord!
Did you see that touchdown pass last week to the end zone when he rolled out right?
He's unbelievable at it. But he's a mess in between these highlights.
Yeah.
He's just
6-3 though, John. They're winning football games.
But remember, last place team. You always have this. Who had New England having the best record in the NFL? Did they have the best record? I think they have the best.
They're 9-2 now, right?
Yeah, they have the best record in the NFL. I believe. Am I forgetting somebody?
No, the Colts. The Colts are 8-2, I think. So yeah, you're right. 9-2, Patriots.
So
I really like Drake May, by the way.
I mean, part of it is that last place. Don't underestimate that last place schedule. They're a team that is going to get to the playoffs and get exposed. If they get to the playoffs, I don't know if they're going to get to the playoffs. They might, but they're going to get exposed when they get to the playoffs.
We'll see. Here's Eduardo. Eduardo says Sonic and Knuckles haven't faced JD and Carter. I think they're the key.
Well,
and the Jomo. The Jomo's been playing great recently. He's really, really coming on.
Yeah. Well, I would wait and watch Sonic and Knuckles. Because David Montgomery ain't getting out physical. I'll tell you that.
No.
I'll tell you that.
And one if Dan Campbell is calling plays again, which I assume he will, then he's going to get the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs. However he's got to do it, whether it's a screen pass, whatever he's got to do, he will try and get him the football. And that dude might be able to run around anybody on our defense. That dude is a beast.
That's one, and that's the one thing about this team, because the Eagles pride themselves on their physicality. This is a physical team they are facing.
This is such a great matchup.
Physical. And where do you get a load of Godzilla out there? Where do you get a load of him? You're going to have those goofball screenshots of somebody ducking out of the way. And people are going to overstate that. But this is a very, very physical team, the Detroit Lions.
Yep. Good stuff. Eduardo follows up. Y'all think AJ finally has a good game this week?
I don't know. I mean,
John, this guy's on pace for 780 fucking yards, man. I know it's okay. Okay, we're risk averse. This is the extreme. AJ Brown is on pace for under 800 yards.
Well, Devontae Smith is on pace for having his best season ever. So maybe it's shifted.
Excuse AJ Brown not getting the ball.
Maybe they're both not going to have. Until they shift their philosophy, they're both not going to have.
Well, they both had a 1,000, a couple seasons ago.
Again, pre-Saquon Barkley is not relevant to me. I don't know. It's not relevant to
Sure,
me.
you and Sills both say that to me, and you guys are right.
I'm not. I mean, to me, it's a completely different mindset. That's why. Yes, if they lose Saquon Barkley, I don't want him to get hurt. But if he gets hurt, they change overnight. They're a different team.
Yeah.
So I can't go back to 2022. They were different. They still had a great running game, but they were different. With this guy and this running back, and it was proven correct last season, they have gone dramatically towards the risk-averse needle.
I'm looking for like an AJ versus the Rams type of game. 6 catches, 109, and a tutty. That's what I'm looking for from AJ. I think they're going to get AJ involved. John Squeaky Wheel gets the oil, my friend. He's the squeaky wheel to the point where they're putting out PR campaigns with the owner involved at this point.
Yeah, well, yeah, the owner stuff is very performative.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's still the squeaky wheel.
Well, he's been the squeaky wheel for a long time. I mean, he was the squeaky wheel when he was doing it in the Bible verses. He was the squeaky wheel when he said, using me while not using me. This is not the first time he's been the squeaky wheel. Sometimes he's got a big game, Minnesota, the Rams. Sometimes he doesn't have a big game, but he's been consistently the squeaky wheel. So that's no guarantee.
Eduardo, appreciate it, my man. Here's Dwayne. I love Vic press conferences. Yeah, me and you both. They're great.
Yeah. And it's, to me, it should be evidence that Nick Sirianni doesn't have to act the way he acts, but whatever. He is going to act the way he acts. So
I'm going to give my boy Curtis here some love with no super chat, but it's a good question. He said, can you ask J-Mac if bottom 10 offense is acceptable with this level of talent? And don't let him explain why it's not top 10. The question is, should we be bottom 10?
I don't know. Was it acceptable last year? I mean, I presume you mean the passing offense. If you mean overall, no, it's not acceptable because you don't have the running offense.
Well, what were they overall last year? They weren't that low with the running game, obviously.
Well, the running game, yeah. So I assume he's talking about the passing offense because
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about the overall.
But if you're assuming, yes, they need to run the ball more effectively, which is what they're trying to do and why they went under center and why they made all the adjustments that are obvious, but people refuse to acknowledge their adjustments. I mean, yes, the running game needs to get better if you're going to play this style of football. They're clearly trying to improve the running game. They have been successful for a boatload of reasons. I assume you're talking about the passing offense. Again, they had 7 games last season that were worse than they had in Green Bay. 7. I don't know what to tell people.
Overall offense. I mean, they're obviously not that now. I think they're like 20. What are they now? What are they right now? 25th, 26th?
Let me get it exactly. They are 23rd, shockingly
23rd?
enough. And by the way, the pass offense is 25th. The problem again is the pass offense is higher than it was than last season. Again, I don't know what to tell people. 21st in run offense, which is obviously where they've cratered. Because I don't know if they were number 1. I think Baltimore might have been number 1. So they were number 1 or 2. I think Baltimore was number 1, but they were very good running the football last season. They're poor this season. They're actually better throwing the football than they were last season. How crazy is that, by the way?
Yeah, weird. Here's Tyler. I can't wait to see more Phillips. He jumps off my TV. Well, he's got a tough matchup
this week. Wait a week. Then get hyped on Joe.
Yeah, he's got that's a tough one, man, going up against Penei Sewell. Here's Joshua. What's up, Joshua? What happened? Why did Vic say he put you in play? All right, Joshua followed up and said, sorry, you guys already answered my question. But yeah, we already talked about that. John already shed light on the fact that he's actually the alpha dog in the press room. Charles
That's
Meadows,
not true, by the way. I
yeah,
think
you're up there.
I think, but Elliot himself said, "I knew when he heard your voice,
Yeah,
I had to go over the top." So
yeah. Here's
whatever.
Charles. Do you think Campbell will struggle with game management? It's a good question.
It's possible. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I'm a big CEO coach guy. For some reason, it's accepted in college football. It's not accepted in pro football. I don't know why. And I shouldn't say it's not accepted because it's mainly fan driven, but and some of the most successful coaches have been CEO coaches like Bill Belichick, number one. But generally when owners hire coaches, they look to hire a play caller. Generally, not always, but generally.
Charles, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Here's Shooter McGavin. He's our resident Patriot fan, John. He's not liking what you said. He said, "Kiss my ass, McMuffin, the scheduled bull, May VP."
Well, I mean, yeah, Patriots fans have crawled out from under their rocks.
Yeah.
But Drake May's a very good player, no doubt about it. And they got Josh McDaniels back, who was a tremendous offensive coordinator, not a good head coach, but tremendous offensive coordinator. I think Mike Vrabel, CEO coach, by the way, is a very good head coach.
That's a good situation there because I don't think they're losing McDaniels to a coaching job, even if they're super.
Not now.
Maybe
not
they
now.
will. I doubt it. Yeah.
I doubt anybody would go down that route again. But
I'm going to make a bold claim. I think even if the Eagles go back and win the freaking Super Bowl, there's a 0% chance Kevin Patullo is a head coach.
Oh, I disagree. I disagree.
You think somebody's hot? Listen, Kellen Moore had a lot more experience under his belt when he got the job.
Kevin Patullo as a communicator, 0 to 100. Kevin's like 99. Kellen Moore's like 10.
If Kevin Patullo gets it, that would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate. Just hilarious.
Kevin Patullo's the type of guy. I said the same thing about Gannon.
Yes, you did. You did.
And everybody said there's no way he's getting a job. Kevin Patullo gets Zander Krause in a room. You're a fan of Kevin Patullo inside of 2 minutes. You take the biggest hater of Kevin Patullo because they're going to be. I'm not picking on you, but the average fan's going to go. Oh,
I'm definitely not the biggest hater.
They're not going to be, you're saying the terrible things they say about him on social media. He'd win them over in 5 minutes, 5 freaking minutes. So if he gets an audience with an NFL owner, and some of these owners are abysmal anyway when it comes to understanding football, he'll win them over in 10 minutes.
KP. Jet Life X Gold. Listen to Tony Dungy's views on AJ Brown. Well, I didn't hear him, so you're gonna have to. I don't know how to respond to your chat without knowing what they are.
I can't listen to everybody's. Everybody's chiming in on AJ, and even Tony. I don't know what he said. I'm sure it's good because Tony's Tony, but he's not. He's not boots on the ground in the situation, so he's just speculating from. It's difficult.
Yep, no doubt. John, it is fair to say, no over exaggeration, that if the Eagles win this football game, they are in a great position to get the number 1 seed in the NFC. Fair?
Yeah, I mean, they have basically the tiebreakers on all the relevant teams with the exception of Seattle. So, you kind of have to hope that Seattle.
I think we had the strength of schedule thing over Seattle, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I mean, but as things go on, they haven't beat them head to head, is what I'm saying. It's, to me, it's at this stage, it's too early to look at that stuff. But the head to head is the most important. And they've beaten the Rams, they've beaten the Bucks, they've beaten the Packers, they will have beaten the Lions. Presumably, they will have beaten the Bears. I mean, it's a lot of teams that are going to be in the playoffs. You've beaten head to head. So,
who do you like in that Rams Seahawks game?
Where's the game?
Rams so far.
Yeah, then I like the Rams. I think they'll split.
That's not much of an advantage.
Oh, I think they'll split.
Yeah,
I think they'll split. They're both good teams.
They're both great.
But if one team was going to sweep, I would pick the Rams because I think they're more tested, more battle tested, I would say. Although
I'm good team though, man. They really are. They're playing well.
I'm a big Sam Darnold guy, but I think the Rams are more battle tested.
They got a lot of stuff around Darnold too. Like it's not just him.
Smith and Jigba's unbelievable.
Oh,
but part of that's the chicken and the egg. I mean, he's not playing the way he's playing without a quarterback and get him the damn football. But he's been unbelievable. He's an all-pro.
Oh, for sure. He's the leader in NFL receiving yards by like 200, I think. He's got like 200 more than the second.
But even like advanced, I don't care about that. Like his advanced and getting separation and all that stuff and the GPS and the next gen stuff. He's way above everybody else.
Yeah, he's a beast. There's no doubt. Motorscape, what's up, brother? Maybe our problem isn't the coordinator himself. It's the constant turnover at the position. Would love to see a few years of the same person there.
Well, that's the argument for people that want a head coach that calls plays.
Yeah, but even what about I know I'm just using this name as an example of somebody that wouldn't become a head coach right away. Frank Reich. Like he wouldn't, again, he's probably not the right name. I'm just saying that's a guy that wouldn't become a head coach right away. You get these young offensive coordinators, they all have ambitions to go to, be a head coach. It's different. The Patriots aren't going to lose McDaniel.
Well, yeah, that's what they did with Vic. So Vic's not going anywhere on the defensive side, but that's very hard to find. And again, I talked to, because Cilio's close to Frank, so you guys talk about Frank a lot. He's not coming back to the situation where he's, he was the.
No, he doesn't. He said on Cilio's show he doesn't want to be the OC.
He was Nick Sirianni's boss. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, he said that. It's funny you said that because that's exactly what he said, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff just doesn't happen. Just doesn't.
Interesting. Motorscape, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate everybody for being here today. Hit that like button. Big game, everybody, this Sunday night at Lincoln Financial Field. If anybody going to the game in the chat, drop it below. We need everybody to be loud at the football game this weekend. We got Gary Cobb in the green room. Let's bring up Gary Cobb right now. He joins the show here on Birds 365. G Cobb, welcome to the program, man. How you doing on this Football Friday?
I'm doing great, but I hope that Eagles offense is doing great too.
Yeah, they got to show up this week, G Cobb. Got to show up. They're going to have to score some points.
They got to score some points.
I think we've been looking forward to this game. We all wanted to see this game last year, and it didn't work out because of the injuries with Detroit. We finally get to see it. It's coming up on Sunday night. I feel we haven't talked about the damn game at all because all we talk about is A.J. Brown, and all we talk about is, oh, what's going on? It's as the Eagles turn. They're 7-2. They got the number 1 seed. I don't.
Yeah, well, and you can see AJ, when he's having his deep moments where he's thinking about what he's going to say and how he feels and all that, So it's interesting being over there and, he's thinking about how he's feeling about everything. But ultimately, that offense is going to have to wake up, and they got to show up ready because I was just looking at all the speed that the Lions have, man. They come at you, and if you let them run the ball on you, you are in for a long day.
Those running backs are impressive, man.
Yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles, and they complement each other so well because you got the great player in space, the super athlete, and then you got Montgomery, who might be the most physical runner in the NFL. And then you got Godzilla on the offensive line with Penei Sewell. This is the rare time where you go into a game, and this is part of, this might be part of the reason the Lions are so injured. They have Dan Campbell as their head coach. Dan, big physical guy himself. They're physical.
Yeah.
They might be the only team more physical than the Eagles. They just punch you in the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle. The whole thing, I think a lot of it is, if they can run the ball on the Eagles, and, the Eagles' run game has really stepped up. I mean, can I say that the first game, of Jalen Phillips, could it have been better? I mean, the guy stepped in and did everything and more of what you wanted to see. And you can see how he's affecting the quarterback. He's making the quarterback get uncomfortable, which is something they weren't doing. And, he has the ability to either, rush upfield, come inside, but whatever, he can get that tackle moving and get him back in the space of the quarterback and make the quarterback uncomfortable. And he just did a great job. I mean, could they have picked somebody better? I mean, and you got to give them a lot of credit for making that move, man. That was, oh man, this guy's a sight for sore eyes, boy. Really, just
he's got a tough one this week, G Cobb. You're going up against Penei Sewell. That's a tough matchup.
I know. I agree. But the big thing is with big guys, though, if you get them moving, they don't want to move. You use that speed and you got some power. That's what gives those big guys trouble. So we'll see what the matchup, what they do. But that is going to be a good battle. And this is what you want, man. Everybody's been wanting to see how these teams match up against each other. We didn't see it last year, but we get a chance to see it this year. But, to me, the big thing is, can you make Jared Goff uncomfortable? Meaning if they're not running the ball real well and you're making him get off his spot, he's not running anywhere. He'll throw the ball to you. I tell those guys, hey, man, look, spend a couple hours catching the ball because you might get a chance to catch a few, this week. So, be ready for it. But this is the fun of, of the NFL. It's when you got two teams coming in, they haven't played each other. We want to see how do they match up against each other. And you got a lot of guys who are going to be battling. I want to see, N'Kobe and Zach Bond there in the middle, see how they battle up, how they work against these running backs, because these are some outstanding running backs. But, let's see how they feel about getting hit.
J.K., who do you think has the advantage? Like, who do you think's been playing better this year? The Eagles are 7-2. Defense has really come alive. Offense, we all know the conversation that's happened about the offense versus Detroit, still kind of living on that. They are a very good offense once again. Dan Campbell took over play calling last week. Who do you think just in a vacuum has the advantage in this game, skill set wise, talent wise, and how they've played this year?
Well, that's tough because I would say for most of the year, I probably would give the Eagles an advantage when I'm thinking about their defense. This is a new defense there, how are they going to do? But then you see, Detroit at times just explodes, man. And it's like they've got more weapons than they had a year ago. It's going to be the kind of thing where they have got to get, to that quarterback and get him moving and everything. If he's comfortable, I don't think the Eagles can cover all those guys. I don't think that they have the secondary to do it. That's why, Phillips, and they need the best of Jalen Carter too. They need the best of Jalen Carter this week. That could be a key, which is I think he could create problems inside there. And that's right in Jared Goff's face. Jared Goff does not like to move. He wants to stand there and throw the ball. He doesn't want the pressure in his face. He's not comfortable with that pressure in his face. And I think that Jalen Carter can create a problem. So, to say which team matches up best, clearly the Lions defense would have somewhat of an advantage because the Eagles offense has not been explosive. They haven't been consistent where they come out and score points. So,
well,
I wouldn't put any of my money on this game, but I would put some of your money on
it. Yeah, I ain't putting my money on this one, G-Cobb.
It might be as simple as, you talk about, all their playmakers. Well, all of a sudden, Sam Laporta, their great tight end, shows up on the injury report with a back injury. He hasn't practiced yet this week, and there is serious concern that he will not play in this game. I mean, I think that might ship things right there to the Eagles. I really do. He's like the third, and with them, fourth down, because they always we have to talk about that, their aggressiveness as well. But he's the guy, along with Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's the guy that Jared Goff looks for in big situations. And he's been dominating for people that don't know him. Very much like Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft, the Green Bay loses him. They don't look like the same offense. I think the same thing might happen without Sam Laporta.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because he is very effective. And then, see, the thing about the tight ends is, the good ones can get lost in the shuffle because, if you got the running game and a good tight end, they really make it very tough for linebackers. And I can tell you that from experience that, you're playing the run and then you got the tight end as well. Well, a good run fake, if they're running the ball well, you got to honor the run fake.
Right. And
so that gives the tight end that's a split second to really kind of get lost, and he gets him behind you, and now you're chasing him, and that creates problems. So they have had that, and I've seen the Lions when they get in a tough situation, they get that running game going, and then Laporta, he gets lost, and so he's there. You got to worry about the deep threat all the time. So they definitely do have some outstanding weapons, and I don't know. I'm trying to think about who I could see matching up well against Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't know.
Gotta be Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper in the slot.
Yeah, it's gotta be Cooper. The thing is, St. Brown, he's so small and just quick, and I guess Coop could get physical with him. That'll be something he can do with him, by jamming him and delaying his release, doing some of that type of thing where he walks up on him. And so yeah, those will be some great matchups, though, man. This is I'm looking forward to this game. This is going to be a very good game, I think.
Gary, how much? You obviously were a linebacker in the league for 10 plus years. How much does a running back being able to catch the ball out of the backfield, like how much does that throw a wrinkle in your plan? Saquon Barkley is in Philly. He's a great back. He's not particularly a huge threat out of the backfield in terms of catching the ball. Jahmyr Gibbs, complete opposite. I mean, he will gash you on a screen pass. He'll take it to the house. How much challenge does that present to a defense trying to stop?
Well, I tell you, I hope maybe the Eagles are listening to this because they need to get Saquon more involved in the passing game because he's got capabilities of doing it, and we've seen him do it. He's made big plays for this team, and it's a way where if their running game is not going well, then they can get him involved. But it is very tough to deal with running backs because the good ones will use they'll use the offensive line as screens where they kind of screen you off and they'll run their route utilizing those guys. The good ones will also use the tight end in order to use as a pick play. And so good running backs, they take their time too. Like on a screen, a good running back takes his time. He's not rushing. He kind of makes you have to either drop into your if you're in a zone, you're dropping away from them, giving them room. And then if you're in man-to-man, he will utilize his offensive line or his tight end to kind of screen you off. So, and I see the Lions running backs, they're good receivers. And, and I tell you, just let me get it. Just talking about who am I talking about? Gibbs. Gibbs is the kind of guy where the night before the game, I'm not getting any sleep.
I know.
This guy is so fast.
Yeah.
And, if you get caught man-to-man on him, well, he's the kind of guy where I'm going to be telling my safety, look, don't take your eyes off of us over here, okay? I got this Gibbs guy, man. This guy is fast. They got to know where he is all the time because they don't have a linebacker that can run with him, So, and I think the Lions love to get him isolated, whether it be on screens, downfield, he runs routes. So this is going to be a tough game, man. I tell you, if the Eagles offense does not show up, they don't have a shot. I mean, because, and they're going to play well. I think the defense is going to play well, but, you need some offense. You guys got to show up and at least put, 20-some or something on the board, man. You got to score some points. And so this is going to be a fun game because it's going to be a challenge, man. And they're coming into the Eagles' house. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. But Jared Goff, he's the guy that if I was playing, I'm going to start talking to him the time he comes out the locker room. Goff, we're going to get you, man. We're going to pound you because if he's in a flow and you're not getting to him, I think the Eagles' chances are they're low. But if they get to him, I think they can get him for some turnovers. He gets erratic. He's going to be off time. He's going to give you the ball. If you can get to him, get some hits on him, especially early in the game.
Yeah, we need a Jalen Carter, a big hit early, G Cobb, to throw him off.
Hey, Buddy Ryan used to tell us, hey.
Be careful, G.
He said, hey, look, if you get a chance to get a shot on one of these guys early in the game, the penalty is mine.
Yeah.
I want, and this would be the kind of game
Sean Payton got suspended a year for that. You can't do that anymore.
Hey, I'm not saying I said it. No, I'm just, but, and because how big it would if you can get, if somebody can just get to him. And I think about the last game. I mean, Phillips just made such a big difference because he was affecting the quarterback. He was making him uncomfortable, and they hadn't been doing that consistently, but he did that this last game. Now he's got his work cut out for him this week. I mean, they got some quality linemen. This is a great battle. I was just thinking this morning, I see there are 4 teams that I think are going to be going to the Super Bowl. One of them from the NFC. It's going to either be the Rams and the Seahawks, the Eagles, or bingo, the Lions. I think one of those 4 teams is going to, all these teams are playing each other this weekend, but I think one of those teams is going to be going to the Super Bowl from the NFC. I think, if everything continues like it is, because some good football teams.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that group is really the legitimate contenders on the NFC side, I would say right now. And the Eagles are part of it. And that's all you can ask for, especially with all these offensive problems. Before I get to that, because I want to hear your thoughts on the offense, but the aggression of Detroit first. I mean, usually, the Eagles are going for it on 4th and 6 at the end of the game for some odd reason. I digress. Usually the Eagles are the more aggressive team whenever they play. Not against Detroit, man.
Yeah.
When you hit the 40 minus 40, if it's 3rd and 5 or less, they're going. And you think about all those playmakers, you got to get 10 yards in 4 plays, not 3 plays.
Yeah. They are aggressive, and I think that is Dan Campbell. He definitely has his personality on this team. They play with his personality, the aggressiveness, both in strategy and how physical they are. So that's why, and from having played and everything, he knows how important it is. If their offensive line comes out and they're more physical than the defense they're playing, they know that with the weapons they have, other team is in trouble. And by the way, he's calling the plays now.
Yep.
And you can see the aggression in the plays. They're going after it. They're not taking their time about it. They really are an aggressive team, and that's why I just kind of liked those over. When I was over there to hear the Eagles players, acknowledging it and saying, hey, they were looking forward to it. They're looking forward to a good fight because that's what this is going to be. And Dan Campbell, his whole personality is over the team now. He's calling the plays, so how aggressive they are. Yeah. I mean, they're coming out, man. They're swinging for the fences the time they come out. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to see who comes out on top. But I just want to see that Eagles offense, man. Fellas.
This is the week, G-Cobb. I mean, this is the week that they're going to force you to not be overly risk averse. I mean, G-Cobb, I can guarantee one thing, and not many things can I guarantee in this game. We ain't going to win 10-7. That's one thing I can guarantee. You're going to have to put some points on the board.
Yeah, I just in knowing the mind and just listening times to Jalen Hurts, I know that he knows how important like taking care of the football is and everything. So he leans on that and everything, and it's good because that's the way you win. But in this game, especially with the fact that the Lions have such an aggressive coach that they're going to have to score some points. So he's going to have to wing it. I mean, I think they've got to go get aggressive. They're going to have to come out and be aggressive, in moving the ball. And I think that's why maybe this week, AJ Brown, he kind of wins this week because they got to go to him. They got to throw that ball. They've got to be aggressive. And they got to put some points on the board. And they got to come out there knowing that, not be expecting depending on the defense to hold them to 14. Look, we got to score some points. We got the weapons here. Got all you guys assembled. Come on, let's throw the ball down. We need some intermediate routes where you run the guy off, and then you have 2 and 3 guys where they have layered. I don't see everybody runs those routes. Throwing the ball downfield. Let's see some aggressiveness. I want to see some screens to Saquon and get Saquon involved downfield a little bit because they've got him matching up with their linebackers. Their linebackers cannot cover Saquon.
Oh, Jack
so you got a mismatch there. So I want to see them take advantage of that. And also, of course, they've been, working the tight end and everything. But they got to get more aggressive because they got to score some points this week. And,
boy, I think you're going to be. I think you're going to be unhappy, Chico. Now, now, if I told you the Eagles had 7 worse passing performances last season than they had in Green Bay, which is exactly what they did. But the difference is, and by the way, 2 in the playoffs against the Rams and the Packers.
Yeah, brutal passing games.
But they had that running game to lean on. Number 2 in the NFL, Saquon Barkley with the historic season. Now they have the 25th ranked passing offense, which is actually better than they were last season. But their rushing offense is 21st, which is way cratered down. What's the problem? They got to get that running game going.
Are you trying to get me not to watch the game? No, I'm not.
Hey, I'm not saying it's pretty. I'm not saying it's aesthetic. I'm not saying it's what everybody wants to see. But that's their formula for winning.
That's right.
They got to get this running game going.
I agree with you. And the one game they did get it going, of course, against the Giants. They put up some points. But I think there's a chance they could get the running game going. I could see that happening. I know they're going to definitely try to, but if they don't, then they got to open up and they got to let it go with the passing game. But either way, I think they're going to need some passing in this game anyway. But hopefully they get the running game going. I think that will open up the passing game. So it's going to be big, very important. Who wins, of course, up front. And I know that you got some of the guys, getting healthy. It looks like, you're going to have Lane Johnson is going to be back. Look, he practiced there yesterday and everything. But they need to get that running game going. There's no doubt about it. But we got to see something, in consistency,
Yeah.
So
they're always more
I
consistent.
don't know what to say because we haven't gotten that most of the year.
Yeah, I mean, they're consistently inconsistent is what they are. G-Cobb, talk to me about game planning, on defensive side of the ball with the change in play caller last week. Like, how much is that a wrinkle? Is it not a wrinkle at all? You change play callers, there's a lot less tendencies. Last time Dan Campbell called plays, it was like 21 or 20. I forget when it was, but it was a few years back. So how much does that change or, present challenges for the defense game planning for this Lions offense?
Well, all of the play callers have a personality,
right?
And you really have to go back and study what they've done, because a lot of times, they'll like to start off a certain way. But one big thing is when they get in a tough situation, they got a personality, meaning like, what do they really believe in? That's what you're going to get. So if they get in a situation where it's, well, even with Campbell, though, I mean, as much as he goes for it on fourth down, but third and long, what does he go to? And you kind of go back and you look, and it might be either a play or it's a player, and I know when I was playing, a lot of times that's the way it was. It was either you had a coach who believed in a certain play or he believed in certain players that he's going to call and try to get the ball to in those situations. And so I think, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the guy they like to go to when if it's third and long, if it's fourth and long, they like to get it to him. But they'll go up top to these guys that can really run, man. Jameson Williams, man, you do not want to get in a foot race with him. And I think also that the chances are, if I'm looking at the Eagles and I look at their secondary, Adoree Jackson, I'm going after Adoree Jackson.
Why does nobody go after Adoree Jackson?
Wait, what's that?
Why do people don't go after Adoree Jackson or when Keely Ringo's out there? It's amazing to me.
Well, they try to kind of roll their side a lot.
Yeah,
that's the way they try to cover them, where they don't let them get into the as much as the other side. They don't try not to just leave them by themselves, where at least they have deep help with one of the safeties. So they try to do that, but at the same time, they line them up man to man and leave them in situations where they're by themselves. So I could see where they're probably going to try to attack him, because I know if I were coaching the Lions, that's where I'd be going. I'm going to look up and find out what he's talking about and how he's feeling, because I think that he's not the best tackler. He's not that big. A straight arm is going to break his tackles and everything. So he's playing better, though. I will give him credit for that.
By the way, I can't believe I've never asked you this, and shame on me, but because you've been under, some of the best defensive minds ever. You brought up one of them. But what do you think of Vic Fangio? Because, man, to an outsider like me, that dude is special. Dan Campbell called him a legend.
Yeah,
out in Detroit this week.
Yeah, I mean, I love the guy. I'll tell you. I like the job that he does. He's, first of all, he's not trying to sell you every time you talk to him. He's being honest and everything. But the guy is just brilliant with the way that he's able to, with his timing. Like, think of the blitz. I'm thinking about with Nakobe, the blitz. He sent Nakobe on. Just the great timing, and at the same time, he doesn't like giving up big plays. So he's not going to overdo it with the blitzing, but his timing is just tremendous, and he knows when to turn a guy loose, and he just does a great job. He got a great feel for the game, for when an offensive coordinator he gets a study of their personality, so he kind of knows what they're going to do, and he's able to, be very on time with his what he expects them to do. But he's one of the best I've ever seen, and he's now Buddy was a great defensive coordinator, but Buddy would get very personal, where he's smelling blood in the water. And or if the offensive coordinator said something, that week, now that tick him off, and that's going to affect the way he's calling the game. Whereas Vic is not like that. Vic is not going to let that affect the way he calls the game. But they both were brilliant. But I really enjoy watching you're watching his defenses and the way that he will take away certain players. He will really put a quarterback in a situation where he's kind of playing head games with the quarterback, and then he knows when to blitz. He just got a great timing for the game. And I guess, all the years. And the other thing I probably would give him credit for, which is really not so much just my history of been around the game. The guy's comfortable in himself. Like, he doesn't want to be a head coach anymore. Yeah, he wants to be a defensive coordinator. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to be a head coach. I mean, some guys, because of somebody's pushing them, will end up doing things and really getting themselves in a place where they don't like it. They don't like the job. They like what they were doing before. And I can appreciate the fact that he's honest with himself, comfortable in his own skin. And you can see the players. And I don't see why he had, trouble down in Miami or whatever, because he's a good coach. I mean, like, he's going to chew your butt out when you didn't do your job. That's what a coach is supposed to do. At the same time, he's very easy to you can see he's very easy guy to talk to. And I couldn't say enough good things about him, man. I enjoy watching him work.
Yeah, he's one of the best ever. I think that's fair. And G Cobb is one of the best ever. Follow him on X at Gary Cobb, 2 R's, 2 B's, gcobb.com. You can watch him locally on Fox 29. Still doing work there. Who's going to win, G Cobb?
Well, it depends on which what Eagles offense shows up. But I think they are. One thing I will give them credit is, when it comes to showing up when they need to win a game, they've shown that they do that. So I think this is going to be a tight one, though. So I got the Birds, pulling that out 30-27.
Ooh, look at that. Kevin Patullo, high flying offense, baby. 30. Yeah.
But it's just going to be a fun game, though. I think it's going to be a fun game.
I'll tell you what, Nick Sirianni has not lost to an NFC North team. Not lost. 10-0.
Wow, man.
10-0.
Wow. I think he's going to get he's going to see. We could see them again in the championship game. Who knows?
Yep. Absolutely. Cobb, thanks for doing it today, brother. We appreciate you joining in on a short notice. Good stuff, G Cobb. We'll talk to you after the game next week. I'm sure on the National Football Show. We'll hear what we have to say. Should be a good one, my friend. Thanks for doing it today.
All right. You guys have a great one.
All right.
Thanks bud.
There's Gary Cobb joining us right here on Birds 365. Great interview there. Great breakdown. G Cobb played for both teams here. Played for the Eagles and played for the Lions a little bit. Good stuff there. Johnny Mac got 10 minutes or so left on the show. All right. G Cobb predicts 30-27. He was right in my range of score, John. Coming right to you, my friend. Your prediction for the game, Eagles versus Lions, week 11.
I'm going Eagles because it's at Lincoln Financial Field. 13 of 14, the Eagles have won at Lincoln Financial Field. As I mentioned, 10-0 against NFC North teams. And no Sam Laporta. I don't think Sam's going to play. I think that tilts things to Philadelphia. If the game was in Ford Field, I'd probably go in the other direction. Although with no Laporta, I still might go Eagles. I think that's big. That's a big injury. I think the Eagles are going to win the game, and I think they're going to be in that realm because you're not going to win scoring 14 points. I'm going to go 28-24 Eagles.
28-24. I like that. You got the Lions only putting up 24. Yeah. What do they average? What do they average in a game right now?
Let me see. Let me pull that up.
I think our defense is going to hold them more than they're not.
They are averaging 31.4 points per game.
They are a good offense. 31 points average is a big number.
It is. That's historic. Not quite. I mean, they're second in the NFL. Who's first? I have to look that up. It's got to be, who would be first? Anyway, the best teams in history are like in the 34 range. So, it's not far off of that. Yeah, it's a good offense.
28, 24,
but they're missing a big part of that good offense. A really big part.
One player on the Eagles offense have a big game in this game. AJ, Devontae, Saquon, Jalen. What do you see?
Well, anytime. If I'm picking, it's right now, it's going to be Saquon or Devontae, and I'll go Saquon.
All right. Saquon is the big day. Running is going to be a big part of it. John, my score prediction's up there, my friend. Might be too high.
Ooh.
I got 33-26 Eagles.
All right. Well, they're capable. I do think people get way too focused on what happened most recently. And obviously Monday night, the score was 10-7. Okay. These games have, first of all, it's freezing, right? In Green Bay. It was one of those games. Games have personalities. They scored 33 points against the Rams with the help of a blocked field goal, obviously, a couple blocked field goals. They scored 31 against Tampa Bay, again, with the help of blocked punts. They scored 28 against the Vikings. They scored 38 against the Giants. It's like the 10-7 is the outlier.
Yeah, I agree completely. So I got 33-26 Birds. J-Max got 28-24 Birds. G Cobb had 30-27. And Caden Steele yesterday had 20-17, which was a crazy score prediction. So a whole lot of Eagles coming up here on the. Have we become a homer channel, John? Everybody's picking the Eagles all the time.
I hope not. Well,
it's because they win so much.
The problem is they win.
Yeah.
Like I said, 13-14 at Lincoln Financial. They've never lost to an NFC North team in the Nick Sirianni era. At some point, it's like, I don't like picking them. I don't want to pick them every week. But how do you pick again? And then Laporta's shit pops up, and I'm like, where did that come from? I pick who I think is going to win the game.
Good stuff, Johnny Mac. Appreciate it. We got one more super chat. 5 minutes left on the show today. It's a football Friday. One of the best games probably the best game of the regular season, if we're being honest here. Jason A-Team says the Yachtsman is going to be happy this week. I think the Eagles play up to the competition. I agree. A-Team. Offense will be better. This is the question. I brought this up yesterday. I speculated that he does. Do you think Lurie enjoys all the extra talk in the media like a Jerry Jones? It seems it. John, he's a movie guy. He loves the extra talk, and they're winning.
You made the comparison to Jerry Jones. Now, anytime your team is this town has become like the Flyers. Do the Flyers even exist anymore? The Sixers.
The Eagles have taken over the city.
He likes that part of it, but he doesn't like it to the point of it stymies success.
I don't know. But it doesn't stymie success.
Well, it hasn't, but I think there's the perception that, he doesn't like this, but he's not like Jerry Jones who's like, oh, I don't care if he's acting this way as long as, we get headlines. Their success has made the other teams in town irrelevant. I think he likes that. But I think that's a long play. That's not about, we got to get the Flyers off the back page of if anybody read a newspaper, which they don't, George Steinbrenner-ish or Jerry Jones-ish. That's their mentality. We got to be on the back page no matter what. Then you would see let's fire Kevin Patullo in the middle of the season. Then you would see that kind of stuff. And the biggest mistake, I still say, of the Nick Sirianni era by the Philadelphia Eagles was demoting Sean Desai. Not that he was doing a good job, but I think they've learned from that. So that's not to say they won't fire people in the offseason. They certainly will. There's always scapegoats if they don't live up to their expectations, but you don't do that shit in season. That means you're actually a shit show. Which is why this is another interesting narrative, because the Lions did what they did, which is kind of crazy, to be honest. But we'll see if it works for them.
Here's Brandon Lewis, Lions 38, Eagles 17. Hurts 130 passing, 1 tutty. Wow.
In a devious way, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I don't think it's going to happen.
What do you mean?
People will lose
their mind. What do you mean you wouldn't mind seeing it in terms of it'll force the Eagles to change or what?
No, people will lose their mind and we'll get a lot of viewers.
Appreciate the honesty there, Johnny Mac. All right, John, your last couple minutes of the show today.
But I don't expect it to happen. So, you know.
I don't either. What's on the agenda today for the Birds?
Practice next. Yeah, no, they're having a short Friday practice. Yeah, right. Walkthrough Saturday. Nick Sirianni's talking about 11:50-ish. Then open locker room, and then we're up and running. Walk through Saturday game, Sunday nights, unfortunately. Sunday night football. I love the song. I love Carrie Underwood and the song, but it is an incorrect song because nobody's been waiting all day for Sunday night because they're watching football all day.
I love that song. I am not
great song.
I am not a fanboy of many. All right, certainly not of celebrities or musicians or any of that crap.
Great song.
I freaking love Carrie Underwood.
Great.
Well, I don't know what it is. I will refrain from elaborating.
Well, I think we know what it is, but there's nothing wrong with that either. But yeah, nobody's waiting all day for Sunday night.
Waiting all day, Johnny Mac. I love that song. It's going to be a good one. All right, my friend, your final thoughts here on a Football Friday.
Yeah, we finally got to talk about the game. So people were waiting for it for 18 months. It's finally here. And we'll see. We'll see. Temperature taking time. Eagles, Lions.
Johnny Mac, get to the link early on Sunday, my friend. The traffic is going to be bad out there.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. You're right.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you, J-Mac. We'll talk to you on Sunday. All right, brother?
All right. See y'all.
All right, dude. Thank you, man. There's Johnny Mac, John McMullen. Great stuff, man. Great show today. Thanks to great Gary Cobb who joined the show today. A lot of great commentary on this game. All right, a lot of great commentary on this game. Good score predictions all throughout. Whole lot of Eagles picks. All right, nobody wants to pick the Lions outside of my boy Brandon Lewis. All right, let me get some score predictions in the chat. Oh, I see everybody reacting to my Carrie Underwood comments. Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it doesn't matter who plays on Sunday night. I'm clicking on the TV to catch the intro. All right. It could be the Jets versus the Titans. I'm clicking on the TV to catch the intro. It's just the nature of the beast. It's what I'm doing. All right. It's what I'm doing. No matter what. All right. I'm going to have to DVR a couple of those things. Fucking Carrie Underwood is a legend. All right. I didn't watch it yet, Siglord. I was going to watch it, but it was 3 hours long, and I was like, whoa, it's 10:30 at night. I'm not doing that yet. But, all right, I need some score predictions from the chat. I need some score predictions. You guys hear my voice, by the way? I'm losing my damn voice. I did a lot of content this week, a lot of energy on the post-game show, a lot of anger this week at some people in the chat, at John and Sills, a lot of stuff going back. I don't think I've ever lost my voice like this. My voice, I can't get it up there right now. My vocal cords are strained a little bit. I might have to, it's a beautiful excuse. All right. Saturday, tomorrow, nobody talk to me. Okay. Sorry. I am resting my vocal cords for my show on Sunday. Okay. I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to hear any bullshit. Okay. I'm going to sit down, get some work done, prepare for the game on Sunday. All right. The lips are zipped after the shows today. All right. I use that throat coat, Kyle. I hate the taste of it, but I do use it. I got it. All right. I do use that throat coat. All right. Let me get the score predictions here from the chat. 31-24 Eagles. My boy Tony. 30-24 Eagles. Rico Mart. 24-10. Eduardo, what world are you living in that the Lions offense is scoring 10 points on our defense? Not happening. But Eduardo, if they do, I'm gonna have to get you I'm gonna have to get you 2 jerseys. All right. Zander is tuned in for the plot. CW. That's always the best part of Sunday Night Football. It's even the best part of Eagles Lions. Hate to break it to everybody. 27-17 Birds. Keith, 17 points to that Lions, though. 27-24 Eagles. Charles, good score. I was leaning 30-27, and I had 2 scores in mind. I had 30-27 in mind, and I had 33-26. When G Cobb took my score, I said, all right, I'll go 33-26. All right. 41-38. Whoa, that'd be a fun game to watch. All right, that'd be a fun game. Quantum Eagles, 10-9. 10-9. 31-20, good score. 24-27 Birds. All right. All right. Brandon says, all I know is the post-game show will be epic or downright sad. Maybe. Dude, if we get blown out and the offense sucks again, oh my gosh. You know me. I was mad last week and we won. All right. 21-17 Daz. I just do not see it being that low. Ned, my boy Ned's got the Lions dominating. Ned, what's your score prediction? You think it's good? Ned, are you predicting this is the 2025 version of the 23 beatdown that your team delivered us? Is that what you're predicting, Ned? Philly tied, 31-17 Birds. Philly tied. I love you, brother, but are you kidding me? We're not beating the Lions by 2 touchdowns. At least I don't think so. All right. At least I don't think so. Big Mike, good score, 31-24. 17-14, Romo, you're high. M. Reyes, I don't care what M. Reyes has to say right now. 31-17 Lions, that's a good one. Curtis, I don't know. Wait, Curtis, you've been one of the biggest Eagle offense haters. All right, rightfully so, by the way. I don't think I think you're right about a lot of what your commentary is. You got 31-17 over the Lions? Where's Prince? Did Prince give me a score prediction? What the fuck did Prince say? Morty says, I think we know what it is. Johnny Mack on Carrie Underwood. Yeah, everybody knows what it is. That woman is drop dead beautiful. I don't give a shit who says what. That woman is majestic. All right. Oh, that score says Lions. Oh, 31-17 Lions. Lions. Fuck. T. Romo says, note the score. What was it, Romo? I'm reading off too many. 17-14 Eagles he had. I got you, Curtis. I didn't see it was the Lions winning. 44-31. Eagles need fantasy points. All right, so Jimmy just bases his entire score prediction off his fucking fantasy players. Jimmy, my recommendation to you, Jimmy, is this. Listen to A.J. Brown. Drop him from fantasy. He's not a fantasy player anymore. He plays in the Eagles offense, which is literally as freaking as constipated as it gets. Okay. All right. Deshae, you have an awful taste in women if you don't think Carrie Underwood is beautiful. I hate to break it to you, but you do not have a good taste if you don't think Carrie Underwood's beautiful. Don't go Leon on us, Zayd. Kimberly, I'll never go full Leon. All right. I don't have the issues that Leon has, unfortunately, for Leon. Leon, I love you, buddy, if you're listening. I don't share those same issues. We do have a Friday giveaway. Yes, we do. We do have a giveaway today. Ready? Here comes KCA Eagle. Once I say giveaway, KCA Eagle shows up. And he gets mad whenever I go dictatorship and say no giveaway today. All right. Chuck, I don't know if I should have used that word. All right. I don't know if I should have used that word. Maybe you should have rescinded that word. Okay. We will do a giveaway today. All right. We will do a giveaway today. Golf camp playout. It's going to be 40 fucking degrees, Storman. What are you talking about? The high on Sunday is 56, dude. The high on Sunday is 56. Now, it's a night game, so it'll be 40-something, 45 degrees. What are you talking about? That's not cold. It's like mediocre. I don't find that to be cold. I don't find that to be cold. YouTube keeps buffering. Is that for everybody, or is that just you, Bird Gang Girl? But by the way, Bird Gang Girl, what are you coming here? Bird Gang Girl says, sorry, I'm not giving a score prediction. What the fuck are you talking about? Take a pick. Take a pick, BGG. All right. Freezing is at 32 degrees. Yeah, I mean, I don't think 40 is that crazy. Morty, don't go sending the shade of the internet looking for Underwood picks. Yeah, he's lying. Morty, let's call a spade a spade. I love you, Deshae, but you're lying. I mean, come on. This dude's out here talking about Carrie Underwood's not beautiful. Are you nuts? The Eagle fan says, listen, Z, listen, Eagles win, but I'm done with the score. But hey, listen, all right, BGG, whatever floats your boat. All right. Whatever floats your boat. Billy Todd says, I'm going to keep smoking the hopium and stick with 31-17. Yeah, I think that's a little delulu in my eyes, but Reyes has said his score prediction 464 times because he wants me to click on it so bad. Reyes, I'm never reading your score prediction again. You're on my shit list, Reyes. Josh B says, Lions 34, Eagles 24. Hate to say it. Josh B, I kind of figured you were going to pick the Lions. You and Curtis, I kind of figured you were in that boat. Josh B has, look, rightfully so. Josh B is unenthused by the Eagles offense. Can we blame him? Can we really blame him? I know we keep winning, but can we really blame him? All right. Yeah, I agree, Big Mike. You get sweaty, you know what I mean? You're running around. That's kind of a nice temp. Keep yourself nice and cool. I don't think that's a big deal at all, the temperature this weekend. All right. Josh B, I'm so unimpressed. Kokorski picking the Eagles. Kyle, I got to be honest with you, Kyle. I thought you were picking the Lions this week. I know you've been one of those Eagle fans that is unenthused as well. I thought you were picking the Lions this week. Theodore says the big players love the cold, not the quarterback, cornerbacks, or wide receivers. Yeah, but Theo, it's not cold, dude. Come on. It's fucking 45 degrees. Let me look up what's the weather going to be at the game time? Let me look it up. Weather in Philly Sunday. All right, high of 56. I mean, come on. It says at 8 p.m., it's going to be 45 degrees. At 10 p.m., it's going to be 42. It's going to be 45 degrees. It's not that cold. That's not that cold, guys. It's chilly. I'm not saying it's not like, frost. It's not warm, but it's not cold. It's not cold at all. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, 45 is like hoodie weather, It's like hoodie weather. It's not that cold. Yes, you did, Theo. Don't rescind it now, Theo. Don't rescind it now, Theo. Real feel going to be 30. Is that what it is, real feel? Bombay. Ready? Bombay, I love you. Okay? Bombay, you have been officially removed from this conversation, Bombay. I know where you are, my friend. I know you live in Florida. You Florida people. My sister lives in Florida. She's lived in Florida her whole life. When she used to fly into Philly, it would be 65 and she'd be bundled up in a blanket. Okay? You Florida people are a different breed. You guys can't handle 50-degree weather. Y'all are a bunch of nerds. Okay? I love you, but you're a bunch of dweebs when it comes to weather. You've been officially removed from the conversations on weather, Bombay Trippy. Okay? I love you, but you've been removed. All right? Z, Kimberly, massive CFB weekend. Let's look at the whole slate. All right. Bombay says, I grew up in Jersey. Bombay, that shit. Bombay, how long have you lived in Florida? All right. How long have you lived in Florida? Kibo, yeah, look at this dickhead. Kibo says, Xander, do your halftime show outside. Oh, Kibo, you must not have been here when I streamed for 3 hours at the parade in 20-degree weather. Kibo, you must not have been here for that because I was outside the whole fucking day from 4:45 in the morning when I set up the parade float for the Eagles parade in February, and it was 40 or 20 degrees or whatever the hell it was. It was damn cold, and I was outside from 4:45 when I woke up at 3:30, left the house at 4 o'clock, arrived to the city of brotherly love at 4:40, got out of the car at 4:45, Dunkin' in hand at 5 a.m. I set up the float. I paraded there all day. I did a 3-hour show from the city, and I didn't leave until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, Kibo, shut your bitch ass up, Kibo. And Roll Philly, you shut your ass up too, because you're in Texas. You're in fucking Texas, which is maybe the only place that's hotter than Florida, because it's so. I lived in Houston for 2 years. You walk outside in Houston, you're like, ugh. All right, shut your bitch ass up, Roll Philly, and shut your bitch ass up, Kibo. Got it? Do your halftime show outside in 40-degree weather. 40 fucking degrees. I didn't have a big ass jacket on. I have the jacket right here. I had the jacket right the fuck here. The jacket is right here. Anybody that knows Mitchell and Ness starter jackets, or by the way, sick jacket. Sick jacket. This is not a very warm jacket, my friend. This is a pretty thin jacket. All right? So shut your ass up, Kibo. All right? Shut your ass up. Fucking Kibo. Also, Kibo, what did you want me to be outside in a t-shirt to make you feel better? Kibo must be a Florida guy. Yeah, it's a bomber, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's not very warm, I'll say that much. All right? You can't handle the Texas heat. Well, I did for 2 years. I dominated Texas. I owned Texas when I was there for 2 years, right? I didn't have a plug nickel in my pocket. I've already told this story. I was the first year as an entrepreneur out of college. It was when I was in Houston, first 2 years. I made on average, not every month. So, every month was tough. Average, I made $1,400 a month. Okay. $1,400 a month. My rent was $1,000. I didn't have a fucking plug nickel in my pocket. All right. I racked up credit card debt living in Houston. I was a stone broke. All right. Me and my brother lived in the same apartment. We split rent. It was like $19.80 a month. So my rent was like, I don't know, $990 or whatever it was. That, a couple bucks on food per month, and I was out. I didn't have a plug nickel, and I still ran Texas, Reyes. I still owned your state. Dominated that shit. Here's Philly the Goon. I got the Eagles 24-20. Pass game is going to be hell because the weather's going to be too windy on Sunday. How windy is it supposed to be? How windy is it supposed to be? Because that's a factor. That is a big factor. Here's 4 reels. Big Z, I'm guilty. Unfortunately, I've acclimated to Cali weather. 65 degrees is hoodie weather. I would die if I came back to these. Yeah, all you warm weather places are noodle heads. Yeah, Jason, I was stone broke. Contrary to belief, some people think I grew up loaded. I don't know where people got that from. I grew up regular middle class. My dad literally worked 100-hour weeks to fucking pay for our school, our high school. I got student loan debt. I mean, fucking A. These people have no idea. Reyes, it sounds like the state owned you. Yeah, I guess in a way. I didn't make much money. All right. Look at my boy Roll Philly. If you can struggle in Texas, you can struggle anywhere, but you definitely did not own Texas. That would require me giving up ownership. Roll Philly, you never owned that state. I owned that state. In fact, I handed it over to you when I left. All right? Fuck off. Storm and Norman becomes a member. All right? Digital Print House. I saw your comment. Yes, I need your merch because I the only thing I know how to do, Print House, is put my logo on a fucking. I'm not wearing a JAKIB shirt, but the only thing I know how to do is put my logo on a hat and a shirt. I don't know how to make the cool designs. Can you make me some designs? Dude, email me. Yes, I saw your work. Wait, it's all the way upstairs. I'm not going to go get it right now, but I have a 500 shirt. It's fire. I have a Philly 500 shirt. It's fire. Okay? If you can make me designs, I'm in. Zander at jakibsports.com. Email. I'll have a phone call with you fucking today, even with the voice going. Make me some sick designs. I'll give away a bunch of merch. All right? Print house, hit me up. Hit me up. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Need any merch? We do. I love that. Oh, yeah, that's actually, you guys see what he did there? You guys see? Look, I want to give you guys a little business lesson. All right? My boy Printhouse. I don't know if he's a fan of the show. He comes in. He says, what's it going to cost to get Zander's attention? $2. Boom. He just cost himself $2 to potentially acquire a client. That's good business right there. That's good business, Printhouse. I respect the game. Don't you worry. I respect the game. All right? $2 gets himself a potential client. Well done. So Eagle fan, so Bergen Girl, I actually do have Eagles, JAKIB sweatpants, and they're fire. I don't have them on the website. All right. I don't have them on the website. No, I'm not going to do crazy designs. I don't want as crazy designs. I want more tailored to the shows. Yeah, 10 to 15 mile winds is not bad. Nate the God says, Eagles are going to blow Detroit out. Watch what the fuck I say. All right. All right, Nate. All right, Nate. Mrs. Sparks says, your dad loaded you with intelligence and a work ethic, no doubt. My dad's a hard-ass worker, and I don't like to talk about myself, but I consider myself to be a hard worker. I'll do this. This is how I gauge my work ethic. I will do whatever the fuck it takes. Okay? I will do whatever the fuck it takes for success. Whatever it takes. That's how I gauge work. All right? That's how I gauge work. Eagle fan says, I need me a pair, Z. Knowing you, Eagle fan, you'll probably get a win. I'll send you a pair. You'll probably get another win soon. All right? Yeah, I got some JAKIB. I wish I had them on because I would show you them. My fiance loves them. They're very comfy. My fiance loves them. My fiance loves my all right, Eduardo. All right, Eddie. Jason, nobody understands. That's okay. I don't expect people to understand. I'm all right with that. Yeah, Bruce Banner. That doesn't fucking add to my success, but I love Bruce. Bruce is funny as shit. He says, come help me run this 4-inch pipe, 1,200 feet in mountain disconnect. Bruce Banner, shut your bitch ass up. Bruce, I'll handle my business and you handle your business. All right? Bruce, handle your business or your business will handle you. All right, Bruce? I shouldn't be screaming. Handle your business or your business will handle you, Bruce. Come on, man. Come on, man. What do you want, a fucking cookie? What do you want, a cookie, Bruce? You're like Brucey from freaking The Longest Yard. Your breath smells like 8 cans of shark shit. All right? All right? Quote of the week. I'm with you, Storm and Norman. I love that quote. All right, good stuff. That voice gonna be gone. I know, Morty. I gotta shut up, and I still got to do a giveaway. All right. All right. Oh my gosh. My fiance is listening to the show and she just sent me a picture wearing my JAKIB sweatpants. Yeah, I was looking for them this morning. Thanks, hon. Looking for my damn sweatpants this morning. Oh, that's a cute picture, babe. Oh, great pictures from my honey. She's wearing my JAKIB sweatpants right now. She stole them. She stole them from me. I need to order another pair. She stole them from me. Can you believe it? She stole my sweats. I was looking for them this morning. Storman, thanks for becoming a member. Philly Goon, appreciate you, brother. Brandon Lewis has the Lions getting blown out. All right, ready? Give me a percentage that this is the 2023 Niners game. You can say 0. What's the matter? You guys aren't confident enough in yourself to love your lady. Is that right, M. Reyes? And Catch. Look at Catch. Catch, you might be henpecked by your computer screen. All right. You can ask my fiance. I'm the farthest thing from henpecked. I put her through hell sometimes. All right. I put her through hell sometimes. Where we get stomped, 5%, 0%. Bob Brown says 60%. Brandon says 0%. No, I didn't say Lions getting blown out. We got blown out in the 23 Niners game. All right. Senor says, always love the woman in your life. Senor, you've actually been on fire. After your awful week last week where I ripped you to shreds, you've had a good week, Senor. All right? You've had a good week. This game won't start a collapse. Negative 20%. 1%. Anthony Lear's another gay boy. Yes, dear. Treating your lady good is henpecked. Thank God I'm a lesbian. That's hilarious. Fly, Eagles, fly. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh man. No, these dudes are just very insecure. I'm not an insecure guy. I never have been. I never will be. All right, I know exactly who the fuck I am. I know exactly who the fuck I am. Bruce Banner says 69%. Good one, brother. That was really funny. That was really funny. Ian East says this is going to be a nip and tuck game, 27-23 Birds. Ian, this would have been a good one to fly in for. All right. This would have been a good one to fly in for. 31-24 Lions. Eduardo says he loves him some lesbians. That's hilarious. We are off the rails here on a Football Friday. By the way, you guys like the new thumbnail? You guys like the new thumbnail? I think it's a cleaner look on the channel. All right. Did you guys even notice the new thumbnail? I was worried that I was going to confuse some people with the new thumbnail because I've had the other thumbnail for literally like 4 freaking years. It was time for an update. All right. Do you guys like the new thumbnail? Love it. Clean. All right, good. It was confusing. I thought it would be, honestly, A-Team. I almost dropped it in the Discord last night and said, guys, get ready for a new thumbnail. All right. So shout out to Marie. She's done a really good job. She's improving all the thumbnails. We are getting better on that area. So I'm looking forward to improving more of that. The next thing to improve is this shitty thing. What is this? What is this graphic? We got to improve this. All right. So we're going to try and improve everything here for everybody. All right. Kibo says kind of gay. Kibo, you're gay. I don't know what's happening there with you hit the like button, it turns to a football. I never noticed that. How do they know we're a football channel? I guess, I don't know. They read our. Chuck says, what's a thutton? That's pretty funny. Hertz looks terrified in that thumbnail. It was confusing for about 12 hours. I'm already used to the changes. Yeah, I'm not fully changed over yet either, DJ. Still working on getting, like, I don't have all the Cilio templates done for his guest and stuff like that, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Amen, Jason 18. 1% better every day. That's what we're working on, man. That's what we're working on. Xander, we are getting this shit out of here. Xander, the Philly 500 googly eyes thumbnail was legendary. Yeah. StreamYard, but yeah, that's an overlay. It's just a shitty overlay. It needs to be improved. It's really ugly. Same with Cilio's. Gonna sound dumb. What's a thumbnail? The thumbnail is the picture of, like, you know when you click on the video, Andrew Dirk? When you click on the video and there's like a picture there, or somebody, like, you see people put text. It's like their movie cover in a way, if you will. All right. It's the cover of the show. RT says, always improving, Z. We're trying, my man. We're trying. That's the best I can do. I'm working my butt off to try and do it. I can't guarantee I always make the right decision, but I can guarantee I will always try and be better. All right. No, I didn't really rearrange. Other than that, I had a bunch of shit fall off the wall. All right. Other than I had a bunch of shit fall off the wall. All right. This chat is all boomers. Yes, it is. We got a lot of boomers. I love my boomers. All right. The boomers are a big part of the show. You know, sometimes you got to placate to the boomers. Sometimes you got to placate to the boomers. All right. Morty, I did not, though. I did not change it other than shit change. Other than, I do love my two neon signs back there, though. Oh, wait, wrong way. I got the Zander Krause sign and the JAKIB sign. Those are just randomly thrown on the wall, though. I could probably improve their placement. See the Zander Krause sign and the JAKIB sign? They're fire. Also, how fire is this Sixer hat? Isn't that fire? It's like cream and brown. It's really dope. Mitchell and Ness. Always got to go Mitchell and Ness. And I always got to leave the thing in the inside in. All right? I always leave that thing in. I always leave that thing in. Most of my hats, I leave it in. That one doesn't have one. Wait a second. Yeah, look. I wore this hat a bunch. This is the Super Bowl hat. Still got it in there. I like to keep the shape, man. I like to keep the hats in good shape. Got to keep the hats in good condition. All right? Got to keep the hats in good condition. Catch says you don't need to put live on the thumbnail. Catch, shut up. Oh, the cross is that. You know what that is? Oh, the cross fell. The cross fell. All right, so anybody who's a Catholic, any great Catholics in the chat? Maybe, I don't know, maybe other churches do this too. All right, Palm Sunday, you get palm. Now, mine's falling apart because this one's old. I have another one over there. But you tie the palm into a cross. I love doing it. I think I got another one over here. Yeah, look. This one's good. I think my sisters did this one. I think my sisters did this one because I'm not this creative. You see how they did like the crisscross? So you get the palm from Palm Sunday and you make it into a cross. And then you keep it. And you know you're really supposed to burn palm to discard of it. You're not supposed to throw it away. So I have a bunch of palm here that, you know, I have never gotten rid of. Because you're not supposed to just throw palm away. This one's fire, though. I got to put this up there. Nice. So that's the story with palm. All right. There you go. I need a hat like that. Which one, Jason? This one? The Sixers one? You're improving like our offense, one step at a time. Yeah, hopefully I can do it quicker than the offense. Original says, Xander, how you feeling? I was getting worried about you, bro. You were off the rails this week. Original Philly, would you tune in if I was never off the rails? I mean, don't you want to be entertained? What do you want me to do? Okay, guys. The Eagles are ranked this in offense, and the Lions are ranked this in offense. So the stats would say that the Lions might win this game, but the Eagles are 7-2, and they win a lot of games. So I think they're going to win the game. And go team, go Eagles, and go Jalen Hurts. Woo! Is that what you want me to do, Philly? A little crash out's good once in a while. Now I don't have a voice, though. My voice is going bye-bye. Palm cross. Let's go, Big Mike. I have a big palm cross. That was my grandma's. I love it. We need that for Sunday. Let's go. They had bad palms this year. Rays, it's funny. Mine 2 years ago were bad. My ones this year were good. All right. Christians too. Okay. I wasn't sure if palm was big in the Christian world. I know it's obviously big in the, like the Catholic Church. I always get them. All right. Zander is better drama than AJ. All right. Am I drama? I'm not drama. I'm not a drama guy. All right. Jimmy says, my wife and kids are Catholic, but not me. Jimmy, you ever want to talk about it? I'd love to talk about it with you. Zander almost made Sills cry on Monday. He was mad at me on the postgame show. I had to apologize. Somebody came in and commented to me, and they said, you need to apologize to Silio. And I'm like, oh, shit, was I too mean to Sills? Was I too mean to Sills? I don't want to be mean to Sills. He was teary-eyed. He wasn't teary-eyed. What was he saying? Was he? Come on, man. Oh, the Super Bowl hat. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, Bryce, my cousin can do that. I can't do that. All right? I can't do that. All right? Zay, your sticker coming off that hat. Are you a sticker on or sticker off guy? This is my first time. I just got this hat a little bit ago. It's my first time wearing it. I took the under sticker off, obviously the white one, not that one. Are you a sticker on or sticker off guy? What am I? I guess I'm a sticker off guy. I don't know, it depends. See, I'll show you. Sometimes it's falling off. No, it's not. Oh, I see it. Shut up, dirty air. Fucking dirty air bitching. See, this hat is dope, but it's a 47 brand. The sticker was lame. I'm like, yeah, take that sticker off. Then you get a Mitchell and Ness hat, and the thing is kind of cool. So I like the Mitchell and Ness. It says nostalgia. It says Philadelphia on there. It's got the date 1904 with the Liberty Bell. I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to keep that on there. See, this is my old Eagle hat too. That's Mitchell and Ness. You keep that on there. So I don't know. It depends. The Mitchell and Ness hats, I typically leave them on. I leave them on. This hat's fire, the Eagles hat. All these damn hats. Nobody has more hats than me. Remember when I showed you all my hats? I missed that. I missed 30 of them. So I don't know. All right. F the Sixers. Ryan, F the Heat. The Heat are trash. Screw the Heat, you nerd. You're another Florida dweeb. All right? You're another Florida dweeb. Definitely prayers up for Bernie Kosar, man. Did you guys get news that you're saying that or just, yeah, he's getting surgery again? Yeah, man, he's battling. He's battling real hard. So definitely keep Bernie Kosar in your prayers. Big friend of, Big Sills, and definitely keep that in mind. Now I can't unsee the damn sticker coming off my fucking hat because Gary had to tell me about it. Your fiance is planning the hat sale. Not happening. The blonde says, Dan, your voice sounds like my voice is gone. The problem with the only difference between me and you, the blonde, is my voice is my moneymaker. If my fiance is still listening, honey, no talking my ear off this week. Or you could talk my ear off, but just don't expect a response. All right, I'll just take it in. I'll just listen. I'm going to be a serial listener, okay? Same with Cilio show today. I am going to be listening to Cilio, okay? Take it off. Take it off. Let me push this thing down so dirty air can shut up. All right, now it's not coming off. Good luck with that. Anybody who's got a woman with them every day knows that that's a tough thing to do. All right. Yeah, reals. If it's a bad sticker, it comes off. Siglord, there's nothing that bothers me more that when like there's something I'm watching, games especially. This is why I can't watch games with people. I really struggle watching games with people. Like I want to hear what the announcers are saying. I don't want to hear what your take on the game is. I want to listen and consume the game. All right? I want to hear the game. Guys, should Gangs in New York be the first one? I'm going to watch one of the movies tonight. I forget all the movies already you guys were saying. Somebody was like, Xander's not watching any of these. I'm like, I already forget a bunch of them. True Romance, Boondock Saints, Gangs of New York. What were the other Daniel Day-Lewis ones that I was supposed to watch? Gangs in New York is long as shit. I'm going to watch The Goonies later. I've never seen that one. You can't give me too many movies, guys. I'll never get to them all. All right. There Will Be Blood. Is that Daniel Day-Lewis? I got to watch in my basement alone. I can't have anyone. I just don't like people love to talk, dude. People love to chat during games. Like, bro, I don't want to chat. Please. I love you. I don't want to chat. I'll chat later. Last of the Mohicans. A lot of people said that was good. A lot of those Daniel Day-Lewis recommendations were big. All right, guys, let's do a giveaway. I can't go too long today because my voice is shot. Eric says, you would hate watching with me. I break it down like a coach. Well, Eric, if you're actually, good, then in certain spots, I'd be okay with that. If you're yapping over everything they're saying, then I would say to shut up, save it for the break. That's true. Good movies are usually long. That's true. That's very true. All right, giveaway time. It's giveaway time, everybody. Storm and Norman, what did you become? Let me look so I know. All right, Jacob fan. Good stuff. All right, so I got that. I just got to get the website, guys. All right, I got the YouTube channel members. Just got to go get my website, guys, and then we'll plug it into ChatGPT. Get the full list, and we'll do a giveaway. We'll do a jersey giveaway. My jersey guy's been unavailable for me for 2 weeks, so I owe a bunch of people still. Not a bunch, but who do I owe? I owe Eduardo Reza, pain in my ass. Brandon Howard, I know. Howard, I sent your hat yesterday, so you'll probably get that next week, Howard. Your salute to service hat. Bird Gang Girl, I sent you your beanie. You got it. You told me you got it. Jarhead, I sent your Trotter jersey yesterday. You'll get that. Oh, HKP, I forgot to reach out to you. I owe you some Jacob merch. All right, so Texas T, I owe a jersey to. Eduardo Reza, Brandon Howard. Jarhead, I sent. Howard, I sent. Fly Eagles Fly, I sent you your shirt. I think you got that already. Bird Gang Girl, you got your beanie. HKP. Alexander Harris, I was going to order him a hat, but it didn't. It was sold out. So I got to order him a sweatshirt. I haven't ordered it yet. All right, I'll order that. All right, so Eduardo, Texas T, and Brandon Howard are my jerseys right now. Jarhead took the Trotter jersey. I sent that yesterday. All right. Howard Nolte, I sent your salute hat yesterday. That will probably be delivered to you at some point next week. All right. Eduardo and Texas T are the two people I really have to get from the jersey guy, but he's been unavailable. I don't know if he was away or what, but he told me he couldn't meet for the last 2 weeks. So, Valenci, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Valenci says, I finally caught up to the live. I drive for a living. This should be a huge defensive game, Z. Coop and Q have to stand out along with Jalen Phillips and Jalen Carter. I got Birds 27-24. Valencia, great points all around. 100% agree. Defense needs to have a big one. You got Birds winning 27-24. By the way, your keys are spot on. Coop and Q need to play balls, need to play dominant, and JP and JC need to play great. I'm going to put Moro Jomo in there too. Moro Ojomo has been getting a bunch of pressure. He needs to keep that up in the interior. All right. Most relatable thing you've ever said, Xander. Don't talk during my motherfucking movie. Kenny, that's not the most relatable thing I've ever said. Come on, man. Kenny, you acting like you don't relate to me at all. Come on, bro. All right. Come on, man. Vulnerable, what's up? Hey, Chad. Hope everyone. Who's Missouri playing this week? Are you guys out of the mix? Let's look at the college football slate. Oklahoma, Alabama is a great game. Texas, Georgia is a banging game. Those are probably the two best games. Where's game day this weekend? Notre Dame's taking on Pittsburgh. It's a decent game. Where's game day this weekend? I would imagine it. Is it at Alabama? Where's college game day? Does anybody know? Anybody know where college game day is this weekend? It's one of my favorite sports shows. College game day. Oh, it's Pitt. Damn. I guess you got to placate. With that voice, we can put holy mackerel on the shelf. Morty, you love my holy mackerel. You know where I got that from, Morty? That's my grandma. That's my nana. That's my nana for sure. Holy mackerel. I'm putting this jersey in a frame. Brandon, are you coming to Philly ever? You've been telling me you were coming to Philly for 2 years. Are you coming to Philly or not? You're going to be an outsider for life. You're never going to come and see the stadium where your favorite team plays. The city where your favorite team is. Never going to come, Brandon? I got the jersey. I still have the Z note in there. I refuse to give that jersey to anybody but Brandon. But your Canadian Gestapo doesn't allow the jersey to go through customs for some weird reason. True Romance Asleep. Everybody was talking about that one yesterday. All right. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. You all distracted me. Typical of you guys. All right. Who else somebody became a member today? Stormin Norman, right? Stormin Norman. I think that's what it was. Yeah, Stormin, 2 M's. Stormin Norman. Love it. Good name. All right. All right, so all the members are added from the YouTube channel. If you're not a member, get your memberships in. I don't know what you're doing. Why would you not be a member on JAKIB Sports? Why would you not support the best Eagle YouTube channel in the world? Why? Nobody delivers you as much content, as great a content as the great JAKIB Nation. Okay? If you're not a member, you're a lame. Hollywood, you're a lame. Okay? Vitality, no, you're not a lame. You're a member. LaToya, you're a lame. Okay? Morty, you're a lame. Who else? Kimberly's a member. The Flash, you're a lame. Who else is a lame in here? You lame-o. Special K, you're a lame. All right? Hogan, relax, dude. Holy crap. You sensitive 49er fans. You guys are all so sensitive. Why are you so sensitive? Relax. I donate all the time. Yes, you do. You do send us super chats. I appreciate you, Hogan. Now I got to butter you up because you're so sensitive. Now I got to butter you up because you're so sensitive. Hogan, man. Hogan, you 49er fans, man. Kokorski, you are not a lame. All right? I mean, come on, Hogan. I'm joking with you, man. And you're going all, dude. I got you, Hogan. Hogan, why don't you come over to the Eagles side? Why don't you come be a fan of a real team, not a team that doesn't know who their quarterback is? Although, hey, some people in Philly will tell you they don't know who our quarterback is. Some people in Philly don't know either. All right, let me pull up my ghost account. All right, here we go. Hogan's in his feels. Hogan, you're from Alabama? Are you a Bama fan? Don't tell me you're an Auburn fan, dude. I will really not be happy with you. If you're an Auburn fan, that's a major problem. Curtis became a member on the website. Curtis, thanks, dude. Appreciate you. All right, how do I download this bitch? All right. Let me get the tiers. Sort. Tiers. All right, got it. I got the legends from the site. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Philly Don, I love that you added James to your name. That's great. All right. You guys are all gonna have to just pump the brakes, all right? Just be a little patient over there, okay? I know Ryan is losing his mind. I know little Ryan is collectively losing his mind. And Izzy B, she loses her mind at the giveaways. I want a giveaway! Ah! Okay. Fan 12. Keith. Down to 25. Curtis. Copy. If you're not supporting Jacob, you're a scrub. I'm just kidding. I love everybody. Not really, though. Tony. Rich. Fly Eagles Fly as a girl. Thomas Farzetta. All right, the list is officially pulled. It is almost time for the giveaway. How long will ChatGPT take to make my master list for me? Probably like 14 years because ChatGPT sucks now. ChatGPT used to be good. ChatGPT blows. ChatGPT is dog water. There's little Ryan crying. Literally, it's like clockwork. Izzy B and Ryan, the two. I've never seen people cry more than these two. I've literally never seen people cry more than these two. All right, here we go. Need a new file. Same formula. New member list attached. I don't take ADHD meds. I don't do that. Xander's all over the place today. Go take your ADHD med. I don't take meds for Don, and I never, or Big Mike. I'll never do that. They tried to put me on that shit when I was like fucking 12 years old. My mom was like, get those drugs away from my son. What the fuck are you talking about? That's what my mom said to him. Get those drugs away from my child. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? My ADHD is a superpower, Big Mike. You know what I don't do? I don't let the world tell me what my fucking deficiencies are. You know, oh my God, you have ADHD. You need to get some med. Bullshit. My ADHD is my superpower. All right? I don't placate to those bullshit narratives that the world has put out. All right? Mind over matter in everything you do. My ADHD is not a problem when I work my balls off all day. And so true, Stormy. When you work all day, your brain never stops. My brain never stops. It never stops. I'm telling you, I get out of the studio at 11:30. I get up in bed and I'm still thinking about shit. Sometimes I'll load up the chat GPT on the phone and start talking or something. Oh yeah, you get Reyes, you see, that's how you know, Reyes. That's how you know I don't take shit, because I took Advil or Tylenol PM literally one time in my life. I was delirious on the morning show. I was completely and utterly delirious on the morning show. All right, I got the entries. I was delirious on that show. And you guys called me out for it, but not until I told you. So you didn't really know until I told you. Big Mike says, I'd be in prison if I didn't. Hey, Big Mike, whatever you got to do, my man. Whatever you got to do. I'm just speaking on my perspective. That's all. I don't try and tell anybody how to live their life. I hate people who try and tell people how to live their life. I hate it. You need to do this differently. Shut up. Don't you have your own shit to worry about? What are you so fucking worried about what everyone else is doing for? Don't you have your own shit to worry about? Hate being told what to do. Probably why I spent a lot of my youth in the principal's office. I hate being told what to do. Don't tell me what to do. All right? You can have an opinion. I don't give a shit what it is, but you can have one. Just don't tell me what to do. All right, here we go. Let me log in on this sucker. All right. Random name. Here we go. Jersey giveaway. All right. 692 entries. We got quite a few legends and everything like that. Okay. Yo, no limit. I think it does. So YouTube gave me this note. Remember how we used to bitch how you can't sign up on a phone? Remember how I used to bitch you can't sign up on a phone? So I got a notification from YouTube the other day that you can sign up on the phone now. But I went and did it like from another YouTube channel, my ZK's Garage account. And it said $30 for Legend because I think they upped it. Because I'm telling you, no limit. These companies are so fucked up. The only reason they did that is because of exactly what I explained to you, that the Apple takes 30%. So instead of them eating the cost, they've now increased what my memberships cost so that they can get more money for themselves. It's so fucking stupid. Now I made my Legend cost $24.99. Now they're charging, I think, is it $29.99 on the phone? Yeah, it shouldn't be that. But they're only doing that because of Apple's tax on the internet, 30% off the top. It's the stupidest thing in the world. 30%. Anybody who uses an app on an Apple phone that buys anything takes 30% off the top. So stupid. So stupid. It really is so stupid. It literally pisses me off. It's ridiculous. All right, here we go. I got the giveaway ready. Wait, and then the worst part is, and then the same fucking shitty companies will not give us our channels on YouTube TV because they need to make more billion. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Fuck the consumer. It's the same thing. It's happening so much more in the world today. You know, it used to be businesses, and I've always tried to build my business this way. Your business should serve your customer. Your business should serve the people who make your business possible. Has anybody flown on an airplane recently? Have you ever seen a business more than the airline industry because they're subsidized by the fucking government? But anyway, they just don't give a shit. They do not give a shit about their paying customer. They don't give a rat's ass about the paying customer. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. You know what? I think I might ditch Apple, by the way. I want the Google phone. All right? I want the Google phone. Motorscape. This is why, Motorscape, I never have put myself into a box of I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. Bullshit. I have a set of beliefs I live by. If that falls into one category for one thing, so be it. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat, okay? I have conservative beliefs, but I also think there's context and nuance to beliefs in life. You know, hey, there's two ways to think. What? Think about how stupid that is. There's two ways to think. Come on, man. Republicans are stupid. Democrats are stupid. That's how I think about it. Sometimes I agree with one more than the other. I mean, holy crap. Yeah, go into a box. You can choose one of two things in life. Does that sound like me? Don't put me into a box. Don't put me into a box. Don't put me into a box. I agree, Big Mike. Be a good person. All right, 1 second. I gotta do some production on the air. I gotta post something up here. Okay, here we go. I gotta post this thing up from Jeffrey Lurie meeting with Classic V1. A/B testing. Change. I'll do this one first. Give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec here. Holy crap. I got bills to pay. I got to get these posts up. I'm happy to hear everybody likes the new thumbnails. I think they're going to look really good on the channel once there's like a bunch of them too, because the old ones they were just not good. I'm not a graphic designer guy. Nick says I need a hug. Why? Fuck do I need a hug? Why do I need a hug, Nick? That's a hilarious comment, though. I don't know if I've ever seen you in this chat in my life, and this guy comes in and tells me I need a hug. All right? I never seen Nick Travellini in my life. Who the fuck is this? Nick SpaghettiOs? Nick Rigatoni? Holy shit. Sounds like a paisano, that's for sure. I need a hug. I need a hug, he says. Y'all give me a damn second, all right? I know everyone. They want my giveaway. Relax. Roll Philly. I'm not even looking at the chat right now because I'm doing something on my computer. I can already guarantee that dude is crying up a storm. Same with Ryan. I already know it. Eduardo's probably bitching about some shit too. Nick Raviolis is probably not happy with something. Where's Nick Raviolis? Is he still in here, or did he just say I need a hug and roll out? Fucking Nick Ravioli. All right. I know Roll Philly's been crying for like 3 hours. I've never seen somebody cry so much. Holy shit, Roll Philly. I'm just messing with you. He's probably crying about that too now. Zander, I don't cry that much. What are you talking about, dude? Zander, I really don't. I'm from Texas, dude. Give a fuck where you're from. All right, I'm almost done. Pump the brakes there, Nick Ravioli. I'm almost done. I made a trash title because I'm getting rushed by Nick Raviolis. Almost done, people. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm back. Nick Linguini. Here's Roll Philly. I told you. I knew it. I just opened the chat back up and look at it. The motherfucker is bitching. This dude bitches so fucking much. I wasn't even looking at the chat. and I said, Roll Philly's probably bitching. I come back, and the very first comment I see is Roll Philly bitching. You're so full of shit, Z. Remember, you're speaking to the owner of Texas. What a dumb, fuck you, Abe. What a dumb name. That's not a dumb name, bro. That's a sick name. Abraham is a sick name. Are you kidding me? That's a bad take. Abe is not a bad name. Abraham is an awesome name. Abraham is an awesome name. Oh, I should have guessed that Big Mike was bitching. This guy, Big Mike, bitches too. Big Mike, I love you, but holy mackerel, dude. You're bitching like a lady. Eduardo, what would I be bitching about? Eduardo, I told you, I'm spot on, man. I am spot on. Spot freaking on. I'm over there, not even looking at the chat. I say 3 names of people who are bitching, and all of them are bitching. All right? All of them are bitching. Look, he's still bitching. He's trying to, now he's selling himself to me. I'm trying to tell the chat to give you a sec. All right, roll. I hope you win this. That'd be pretty funny. All right, who wants to do this jersey giveaway? All right, now Big Mike is bitching because I told him he was bitching. Holy shit, you guys are some softy McCharmans. You guys are Charmin Ultra Soft. You guys are literally purchasing up all that Charmin Ultra Soft. All right, let's do it. Start. All right, confirm. 1 shuffle for Jalen Hurts. We go 1 shuffle for Jalen Hurts. Start. Do you have to be present today? I'll make a determination based on who wins. Bobby Henderson. Bobby, are you out there? Considering I don't know Bobby much, and this might be a must be present on this victory. Okay? Bobby, are you out there? Morty keeps telling me to watch my voice. Morty, see, the thing I love about Morty is he's not thinking about today. He's thinking about Sunday, and next week, got a night game on Sunday. Going to have another long week. Beautiful thing. Morty, you're right. I need some honey or something. Never heard of Bobby. Congrats, Bob. Roll Philly, you are a funny guy. I'll give you that. Every once in a while, you crack a joke that's pretty funny. Bobby, are you out there? Bobby, are you out there? Bobby, please tell me you're out there. Bobby boy. Bobby Hill. Get him out of here. I haven't seen Flexion in a little bit. Bobby Hendergon. Name's Roll Philly. They just call me Bobby Henderson from time to time. Oh, man. Roll Philly's on a roll today. This dude, Roll Philly, knows what he's talking about. Why are you a Georgia Bulldogs fan? You're from Texas. Why do you like the Georgia Bulldogs? Roll Philly, why are you a Georgia Bulldog fan? Because all of our players are from there? Why? How are you a Georgia fan? You're like Kimberly. Why is Kimberly a Georgia fan? I don't know. I have no idea. Do a laugh for Bobby one time. I don't know who Bobby Henderson is. I legitimately, this guy must be gifted. Oh, no. I know who Bobby is, guys. You guys remember on the pregame show or the postgame show when Bobby put in a super chat and he said, you guys saved me? You guys remember that? That's who Bobby Henderson was. Damn, I kind of want to give him something, but I have no way to reach him. I also don't see him in here very often, but he might be here. Bobby, if you're here and you're listening after the fact, you shoot me an email. I'll do something for you. Zander at jakibsports.com. That's Zander at Jacob is JAKIB sports.com. Okay. That's who Bobby Henderson is. Now I remember Bobby Henderson. All right. I'm going to do another pull though today. Okay. I'll do another pull for the giveaway. Let's go back. Up the name. Look, it says 0. That's how you know the name's not going to work. Jersey giveaway. Got to redo it. Didn't copy it. Copy and pasted something different. All right, there we go. All right, we're back, folks. We are back. We are back for a reroll. We are back for a reroll. If Bobby reaches out to me, don't worry. I'll take care of him. I try and take care of everybody who's worthy. All right. Do one shuffle for the greatness of Jalen Hurts and start. All right. Where's the screen? Brandon Lewis. I know Brandon Lewis does not want a Jalen Hurts jersey. All right. Brandon, are you here? Look at Brandon. He was here a little bit ago. Look, he sent a super chat today. Brandon, are you out there? Brandon, are you out there? I know Brandon's going to say, Z, please, anything but a Jalen Hurts jersey. Brandon Lewis is in the Brian Pumper camp. Yeah, Brandon Howard says, Brandon's coming up big. Brandon's have a stranglehold on this chat, is what they do. They have a stranglehold on these giveaways. I hope Brandon was here. Hurts is his favorite player. Now, he's not a Brand. I got to give it to Brandon Lewis. He's been a member for a long time. Philly Tide is done and dusted. Don't worry, I'm going to do one more today. I'm doing one more, so we'll have 2 winners today. Damn, I thought Brandon would be here. I'm going to give it to him, though, because he's been a supporter for a long time. Give him a Sam Howell. Rico Mar. Rico, are you under the impression that I can get my hands on a Sam Howell jersey? Nicky SpaghettiOs did leave. I haven't seen him. Nicky Ravioli. What did he say to me again? I need a hug? Yeah. At the helm. What's up, brother? Let's go, Brandon. Say, Lord, don't say that. You might send M. Reyes into a tizzy. Let's go, Brandon. All right, now that it's over, and now that I've already told you guys I don't give a shit about Republicans or Democrats, can we look back on the fact that we had the funniest presidency of all time with a dude who was the president of the free roll? He literally could barely put his right foot in front of his left foot. That was pretty funny. Dropping you need a hug and dipping out is a G move. Only an idiot like you would think that. But no, it actually kind of is. I'll give you that. LMAO, we winning. All right, Reyes. All right, Reyes. Now you don't give a shit, Z. Reyes, I've never really give that. I've never give as much of a shit as you think. All right, I've always understood that it's all mostly a game. It's mostly a game. And we're the pawns in the game. I got news for everybody. If your idol is a politician, you're in a bad spot. You're in a bad spot. We're the pawns, man. We're the pawns in the game. All right, Brandon Lewis. I'm going to keep this one for Brandon Lewis. Let me write it down. I love Brandon Lewis. I got a jersey for him. Brandon Lewis. Maybe Trump is easily the funniest president we've ever had. It's literally not even close. The dude is flat out fucking hilarious. Are you kidding me? I don't give a shit what you think of him. He is hilarious. They're eating the cat. Has anybody ever seen the dub of that? They're eating the cats and eating the dogs. Oh my gosh. Trump is a funny dude, man. He is a funny dude. There's no doubt. All right, Brandon, I've written down Brandon Lewis's name. He's going to get a jersey. I just don't know which one. Biden might be funnier unintentionally. Let me get that Hurts jersey, Xander. Pumper, have you ever even gotten your Saquon jersey? You've never even gotten your Saquon jersey, have you? I'm a lefty, and even I think Trump is hilarious. He is hilarious. Xander Biden, that's a grave insult. That is a grave insult to me. But that's all right, Philly Eagle. You're some anonymous guy on the internet. Your insults hold no weight over me. All right? Trump wakes up every day as the most entertaining. So true, Morty. Good comment. He is. He is. This dude has dominated every headline on every outlet for like 15 years now. It's pretty funny. All right. Z Pelosi. That's even worse. Although she was effective for Democrats, I'll tell you that much. I know conservative or Republicans hate her, but hey, at the end of the day, this country has literally gotten progressively more left. So that's a W for that woman. Not a W for the country, but it's a W for the woman. All right, one more giveaway. One more giveaway. This one, you have to be here. You have to be here. If you're not here and you do not claim it, you are fucking cooked. You hear me? I don't care who it is. If you're not here, you're cooked. You're cooked. Reyes, have you ever seen some dude does this thing, Reyes? I think I have it on my phone. Some dude does this thing where like they tail all these politicians' stock accounts. What the fuck is that thing called? I know it's an app. What's that thing called? Does anybody know the name of this app that I'm talking about? Autopilot. That's what it is. I think it's Autopilot. Wait, I got to show you this. You'll love this. It's funny. Look, invest like a politician. I already did this. I've already had an account. I don't use it, but I had an account. Wait, I want to show you this. It's so funny. All right, bro. Relax. Look. Oh, my gosh. Relax. Look. Pelosi tracker. She's up 37% this year. Actively managed hedge funds. AI winners. Look, they got the Burry truck. Look, the inverse of Kramer. The inverse of Kramer is up 50%, just taking the opposite of what Kramer tells you to take. Who else? You could do Warren Buffett. Oh, man, is that funny. Look at the Pelosi tracker. Featured Pelosi tracker. All these people are criminal scumbags. All right. That's why you can't make any of them your fucking idol. All right. My only idol is one. I got one idol. Anybody want to guess who it is? I got one idol. I got one idol. And I do not live up to it ever. Ever. Jesus Christ. Not my dad. It's Jesus Christ. Amen, Highland Ultra. Praise the Lord, baby. Hell, Yeppa. Shut up, Yeppa. Yeppa, I know you're a lipster too. All right. My dad would come in second, Philly Tide. I fucking love my dad. I absolutely love my dad. Kimberly says, yeah, I became a Georgia fan because that's actually a good reason. Your mom's name is Georgia. I like that. I like that. Praise the Lord, baby. All right, let's do one more giveaway. You got to be here for this. You got to be here for this. Okay? I'm going to do JAKIB merch. We'll do a hat and a shirt or something. All right? Politicians in this country serve one master, and it's corporate overlords. It's not only corporate overlords, it's foreign country overlords. That's what it is. It's not only corporate. It's fucking APAC is what it is. Don't get me started. All right, here we go. JAKIB merch. Here we go. You got to be here. If you're not here, you're cooked. You hear me? If you're not here, you're cooked. You're cooked. All right, let's roll. Confirm. One shuffle for the greatness of Jalen Hurts. Start. You got to be here. You got to be here. Philly Don, I try and go like once a month, but I really should be going more. BMO, careful. Is BMO here? BMO's an opportunistic. He's a gifted too. I know he's a gifted because he never buys it and he always gets the gift. It's the weirdest thing. Whenever somebody gifts memberships, this dude BMO freaking wins every time. All right. I knew I liked you, Zander. Why? Because I know what to call out. Yeah, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I didn't see BMO in a hot minute. I saw him recent, but he was gifted. He's a gifted member. BMO, are you out there? I think BMO's done. I might just go full dictator here and just get him out of here. All right. I might just get him out of here. All right. BMO, present next time. Gary, your play on words today is on point. Done and dusted. See ya. See ya, dude. Welcome to the Zander dictatorship. Not to be confused with the United States of America. This is the Zander dictatorship. Okay? Done and dusted. Okay? You got to be here. One shuffle for Jalen Hurts. Start. Here we go. Catherine Bose. Catherine, are you here? Catherine's a great supporter of ours. She's got a full family and everything. Two kids. I think one of them just went to college. I know because I follow her on social media. She followed me a long time ago. She's a big supporter of the channel. Catherine Boss, are you here? I don't know how to pronounce B-A-U-S, but I just pronounce it Boss because it's cool. Boss. It's a cool last name if it's pronounced Boss. Catherine Boss, are you out there? This is rigged like FanDuel. You're a gray. Shut the hell up. You're not in there. Philly Eagle, you're a dusty gray. Your words carry no weight here. You spent $4 today on Super Chat. You could have just became a member for 1 month. Zander Biden, and this is rigged. Sounds like you're the Biden. It sounds like you're Philly Biden. Philly Biden. You're going rigged on me? I don't rig shit. All right. Zach Boss. She's done and dusted. Goodbye, Catherine. Boss with a loss. All right. Done and dusted. On to the next one. I got to get off the air. Morty must be having a panic attack about my voice. Morty must be losing his mind. I just keep going, man. It's 11:30. Philly Eagle is a sick original name. Yeah, no, not too good. She does have a full family. Confirm. One shuffle. Start. My voice is cooked. I feel it getting worse, Morty. 5, 4. Oh! Let's go, Gary. Gary had some good comments today. There we go. You guys know who Gary is, right? Gary's in here. I know he's in here. He's just here. This is Gary. Motorscape Gary is Gary. That must be his legend membership on the website. My boy Dirty Air. Dirty Air's won a little bit of everything. What does he want? This is going to be up to him. This is for JAKIB merch, but I'll give you a jersey if you want one. What size are you? I don't know what sizes I got here. What size are you, Gary? It's merch, but if you don't want, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I'll give you whatever. Gary's such a great supporter. He's got the fucking choices his, folks. Guy's a legend on both spots. He sent me to NASCAR in the summer. He's a legend. Okay. So Gary can take his pick. XL. Let me see what I have in XL. This is Eduardo's jersey. Eduardo, I just decided you're getting the Goddard. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, you sisspot. XL. Here's an XL. Ooh, I got an XL Jalen Hurts. You want it? I got an XL Jalen Hurts. You want it? This is all you, Gary, if you want it. I got an XL Saquon. I got an XL Saquon. That's XL. That's a small. And then I got an XL regular green Saquon. I will say the Kelly greens are better quality in my eyes. You want I got Jalen Saquon. I got Saquon Midnight Green with the Super Bowl patch. I got Saquon Kelly Green. And I got Jalen Kelly Green. Gary's here. He's already said he was here. XL Saquon Kelly Green. Done. All you, my brother. Nope, that's Jalen. Done. All you, my brother. Saquon Kelly Green XL. That's my boy. For Gary. Done and dusted. That's it for the giveaways, folks. And Brandon Lewis. You know what's going to be really funny? When I reach out to Brandon Lewis and told him he won a jersey, and he's going to be a size extra large, and he would have wanted the Saquon because he's a Jalen Hurts. He does not like Jalen Hurts. And I'm going to say, sorry, bro, my only XL left is Jalen Hurts. That is going to be great. HKP, DM me today, dude. I forgot to DM you. HKP, DM me on Instagram. Gary, send me your Addy. I'll send it to you, brother. I will send it to you. Gary, my boy Gary. Fucking love Gary. Gary, for those who don't know this, maybe many of you don't know this, Gary made my summer, kind of. So the best thing I did this summer, all right, the best thing I did this summer, or I was able to do this summer, was Gary got me garage and pit passes to NASCAR. So I was able to go to Dover and go to the garage and pit pass. I got to see all the cars. Like, they were literally like, I could touch them. They were right in front of me. The drivers. I saw the big pit bus that they use. It was a fucking sick experience. I owe Gary more than a couple jerseys, and I sent him to the home opener too. So I hooked Gary up with some tickets, and I'm happy he's gonna get the win. That's why he gets to pick the jersey. Ryan's crying some more. Ryan, you cry too much, dude. I don't know. Do you have a woman? Are you married, Ryan? Do you have a lady? Maybe when you get a lady and she outcries you, you'll cry less. No men should cry as much as you cry, Ryan. No man should cry as much as you cry. Fly, Eagles, fly. Do you have a lot of crying in your house? You're a lesbian and you said you're married. You got a lot of tears in your house? You guys cry a lot? You ladies are emotional beings. I love you, but you're emotional beings. Oh, yeah, he is, Motorscape. You know he is, dude. My brother's a baller. Ryan, you can't be married. You're married? Oh, man, he is married. God bless your wife. She must wear the pants in there. You know, shit hits the fan and Ryan's in tears. The wife's got to be the rock. Bird Gang Girl, that's true. You are not like, you are, from what I know about you, I would agree with that. All right. All right, so we got Gary won the Saquon jersey. We got Brandon won a jersey. Gary, text me your address quick because I'm going to try and ship it today, dude. I don't want to get behind on the jerseys. I hate getting behind. All right, I got to rest my voice. Oh, Fly Goes Fly. I wanted you to answer my question. You didn't answer it. That's all right. Zander is out here just roasting people. Big Mike, you're next, dude. The amount of tears coming out of you today should be studied in a lab. All right, I love you guys. I'm out of here, man. I got to stop roasting people. Yo, good show. We winning Sunday versus the Lions. I think we're winning. I think we win Sunday. Broke out the new Sixer hat today. I love the brown, man. The brown and the cream is cool. All right, broke out the new Sixer hat today. Senor, appreciate you, my brother. Abe, appreciate you, my guy. Abe, don't ever let somebody tell you have a bad name. You have a sick fucking name. You have a sick name. Abraham, are you kidding me? That's a legendary name, Abe. Don't take no bullshit, Abe, from anybody in life. All right? Great show, Z. Gargle some salt water. Rest the voice. Yeah, no talking for me this weekend. All right? My beautiful woman's going to be talking my ear off. I'm going to say, okay, just keep talking. All right. All right. Love all you guys. See you next time, everybody. Enjoy the freaking game on Sunday. It's going to be a banging game. Correct, Abe. It's in every religious book. All right. Ooh, underdog's got the Birds winning. Underdog, I know why you got the Eagles winning. Trenches, baby. Trenches. That's where you win in football. Love you guys. Wait, what's going on here? All right, love you guys. See you next time, everybody.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.